Hello, if you can hear me, please say laser. And that way I will know that you are getting laser hair treatment. Alright, laser. Lasers. I'm like charging up my laser. Alright, today is day 21. Good old lucky 21. We've been doing this for over a month now, haven't we? It's kind of crazy for me to be streaming this long. Day 21 of the Final Fantasy IV translation comparison, set 1. Set 2 will be in a few years, hopefully. Let's see. Currently we are in the Dwarf Castle, and we are still in the middle of like the cutscene with the king after the crystal has been stolen. So my goal today is to complete that scene. Hopefully it'll go okay. Then immediately just use the exit spell, then go back and do that trick to get the crystal. Show all that off. Then go back to the save state, and then we'll go around the whole castle and explore the castle. There's a lot of talking in the castle. There's also the secret development room. That'll be fun to look at. And I don't know how far we're gonna get. We might manage to make it to the tower, but I'm not expecting it necessarily. Before we begin, I got a couple things again. The other day I showed off like the Japanese reviews of Final Fantasy IV, and so that had me curious. What is the reviews like? What were the reviews like outside of Japan? I did a quick search online. It's hard to find old reviews of this game, but I did find this one that's from the UK. For Final Fantasy II, this was, I think, a machine called Mean Machines. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, they don't really seem to like it. The review is this: Final Fantasy II. Once again, we travel to RPG land, where men look like refugees from Laurie's paintings, and combat is a highly exciting affair taken in turns by each participant. The intro to this game is pretty good, but the quest itself is dull and tedious. This is best left alone, even by RPG fans. Overall score, 42%. And then as I recall, oh, maybe it's on here. Is it? Can I edit this? Nah, okay. As I recall, the same page had like Final Fight for Super NES, and that was like 90-something%. So I guess everyone was just really into the action games over there, actions and platforms. If anything, I would have expected maybe UK players to be more into RPGs than Americans, but this is pretty bad. Alright. Speaking of American magazines, here's more from that Japanese magazine the other day, where they are covering the plethora of gaming magazines in America. I'll just briefly look at this. I won't like translate it live or anything. They're just saying there's a whole bunch of the magazines in America. And then there's Nintendo Power, obviously. There's Sega and NEC have joined in. They have their own magazines, and just game magazines are on the rise. In this way, they're similar to Japan. Then we can see a Nintendo Power Top 30 over there. I can't quite tell what is on the list on that top 30, but that image takes me back to my old Nintendo Power days. Then they also are pointing out that Nintendo Power has articles about Japanese news. So we're going like a mirror, and we put a mirror in front of a mirror now, and now we're looking at Japanese people looking at America, looking at Japan. Alright. Yeah, it says Nintendo Power's system for ranking is like really good apparently, and it has a lot of impact on the industry. And then in Japan, there's all kinds of magazines. Alright. And then we can see here, well, you can't really see it because I can't point to it. You see a bunch of the magazines like Nintendo Power, Mega Play, Sega something, Sega Visions, Game Player Strategy Guide, Electronic Gaming Monthly. Then there's also this weird thing on here that says, "Do you know me?" And this is like a quiz that was throughout this whole section. It was like, can you guess what the Japanese names of these games are called? That's what they are. And here we see a really interesting thing. First, we see a very wonky Mega Man. For whatever reason, Mega Man and just has, he's cursed outside of Japan. Any depiction of Mega Man is automatically cursed. I'm sorry. Then we also have an Earthbound image, but it's not the Super NES one. It's the original NES one. And it's like, it was kind of neat to see that randomly here, an Earthbound thing. Then, yeah. Okay, so that's it for that. So Mendel Palace is Quinty. All right. What's next? Oh yeah, that's the same section, the same, like, I don't know what to call it. The same batch of stuff. Talks about what is like popular in America right now. And so the top 3 is Mario, Tetris, and the Ninja Turtles. And they are saying, like, of course Mario is going to be number 1, Mario 3 is going to be number 1, and of course Tetris is going to be up there too. But they're surprised that Ninja Turtles is number 3. They say it's from Konami, and in Japan it's a lukewarm team, is known as like TMNT. It's very lukewarm over there though, like not that popular. But in America, its popularity is like insanely intense. There's TV anime. They literally says TV anime, by the way. Even though it's not anime, like in America and the rest of the world, we tend to think of all anime as it has to come from Japan, but over there in Japan, anime is just animation. So TV anime and live action movies, and their characters are super popular, and so no wonder it's number 3. All right, and then will this wave of TMNT popularity hit Japan and break the seal when the movie arrives in March? It's also pointing out that Tetris has a different layout than the Famicom version, which is kind of neat to know. And then, yeah, Ninja Turtles. Oh man, that's Ninja Turtles 2 though, isn't it? That's Ninja Turtles 2, that's the good one. Maybe they don't know about the other one. All right. Same magazines. I was just looking through Japanese magazines. Here's an early FF4. This might be some of the earliest FF4 stuff I could find. And there's not even really anything here. It's just saying, like, it's coming this summer. We don't know the price. We don't know exactly when, but it's coming. And the Super Famicom is going to make it great. So that's kind of the very little blurb in here. And then also I found this. I really like when magazines will do their own art. So here we have a Final Fantasy IV section of a magazine, in a Japanese magazine. And you can see they kind of like made their own art for the world map. It's just neat to see it. I thought I would share it. Alright. There's more stuff to talk about, but we'll do that as we're actually in the game. But we should probably get to the game now. Make this big. Alright, this came out in 1991. Pretend you're back in 1991 and then try to find some movies and music from that time. And if there's any food, well, maybe not if it was made in 91, but any foods that you liked in 91, if you were alive. If you weren't alive, then you don't get to eat any foods. Alright, we're 50 hours in. Oh my gosh, 51 hours. Oh yeah, actually I have to do the save state. I'm gonna do the save state. Yes, perfect. It worked. Hooray. Pizza, yes. Okay, if you don't have a default, then pizza is always good for the Ninja Turtles 90s. Although I kind of associate it more with 80s somehow. Alright. Alright, so we have just been bested by Golbez's floating hand. He has one-upped us and taken the crystal. So the Cecil and his party are now in the throne room talking to the king. And we have a lot of text to go through. Oh boy. Alright. Cecil says, Sumimasen cristalo wa Golbeza no te ni. I'm sorry, the crystal ended up in Golbez's hand. Technically, there's no verb in there. I'm sorry, the crystal verbed into Golbez's hand. What do we got? Just one word change in ED type at the very end. We'll get to that later. Alright, Super NES. I'm sorry, Golbez took the crystal. Alright. J2E. I'm sorry, Golbez got the crystal. Oh no. J2E's making a bunch of changes to herself there. We'll look at that later. Naming me. I'm sorry, Golbez took the crystal. Giott says Yamuo en. Yamuo en. Does it show up on here? That'd be neat if it did. Then we have no choice, or then it cannot be helped. Something like that. Yamuo en. It's kind of a fancy way of saying that. Then we have no other choice then. It's kind of, I guess, how I would translate it off the top of my head, but I would probably double check that. Okay. This became... I'll just finish it. Yamuo en. こうなっては最後のクリスタルを死守するしかあるまい. Now that things are like this, our only option is to guard the final crystal with our lives. Like very, yeah. I guess that's a good way to shishu. Let me see how we do shishu. Defending to the last, defending desperately. The kanji is death and then protect. So protect the deathly way. All right. So we have no other choice but to protect the last crystal to the very end. That's kind of how that feels. Super NES. We must protect the last crystal then. So this Yamuo, and I won't mark it off for that not being in there, because that can kind of like slot into that second sentence. We must protect the last crystal then. J2E. Damn. ... No. That's not like a swearing in there. He used to say, what can you do? What can you do is a teeny bit closer. I wish I had a Yamuo and a thing to look at right now. Right. All we can do now is protect the last crystal. I would have liked this to be stronger. Like, not just protect it, but like protect it with our lives, or protect it like desperately. Not just protect it. Naming way. Then we must protect the last one. Each one is sort of like veering off very slightly, but I'll say this one's fine. Rosa says, Saigo no kristaru wa doku ni aru no desho? So where might the final crystal be? Being kind of polite, inquisitive there. Rosa and Supriya says, where is it? And J2E, where is the last crystal? And then naming way, where is it? Alright. Alright. Giott then says, Nansei ni aru fui no dokutsu ja. The sealed cave in the southwest. Right. Super NES. In the sealed cave of northwest. No. Super NES, you made a translation mistake. No. Like, it's sad to see it do actual mistranslations like that, but oh well. Alright. What the heck are you doing in here? Oh my god, J2E is getting so wordy. Alright. So J2E just says it's in a sealed cave. It doesn't say to the direction that it should be. Southwest. J2E loses a point. And naming way doesn't say southwest either. Everyone, this is hints. These are gameplay hints. It just says in the sealed cave. J2E, did you used to say? Okay, let me highlight it so I can just point out. Doku ni aru no desho? Nansei is southwest. Yeah, Amethyst Frost, hometown in the south. There's breath of fire direction mistakes there. Alright. Giott continues. Golbeza ga nukatta ga awateru denai. Golbeza has headed there, but worry not, or like, do not be flustered. Alright, the part that Gobez is on his way is not in the Super NES, but it says, but do not worry in there. Alright. J2E, Gobeza went there, but don't worry. Okay, that's in there, that's good. Naming way doesn't have the thing about Gobez is already been there, so mark off the naming way. Alright, this next line is going to break the window. Let me check it out. Alright. Fuin no toku kagi ga nakereba, ano dokutsu ni hairu koto wa dekin. Without the key to unlock the seal, he cannot enter that cave. It could also be like not just he. It could be generic. So, without the key, no one can enter the cave. But since he was just talking about Gobez, my mind naturally went to he. All right, Super NES. But do not worry, the cave cannot be entered without the key. I would have liked it to say that the key unlocks the seal, like it undoes the seal. I will not mark that off on this though. J2E. Without the key to release the seal, nobody can enter. Okay, that's pretty good. How did that used to be? Nobody can get in there. Naming way. None can enter without the key. Ooh, they're really trimming their text on there, but that's okay. Soko deja, onushira ni tanomi ga aru. And that's where you come in. I have a favor to ask you guys. It's kind of how that goes. What are you doing here, Super NES? Super NES has Cecil saying, "What should we do? Gobez is on his way." Okay, those two lines are weird. I'm going to take those off. Then, so he's not asking us for a favor or a request in the Super NES. Alright. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, King asking a request is kind of a big deal. Alright, J2E. Therefore, we have a plan of attack, but we'll need your assistance. Plan of attack isn't technically in there. Let's see how it used to be. He used to say it used to be better. That's where I want you to help. So it used to be better. I'm gonna mark off a point because it kind of went backwards with that. He's basically saying, and that's where I need to ask you guys for a favor. There's no plan of attack talk in there. Oh no. Okay, well anyway, that line is missing in naming way. Mark that off. Next line. Cecil says, "Kristaru ga ubawareta no mo bokura no sekinin desu." So he's being good manners. He's saying, it is our fault. It is our responsibility that the crystal was stolen. Nanika chikari ni nareru nara. If there's any way we can help, ... Alright, we'll say this, what should we do, will be nanika chikari ni nareru nara. If there's anything I can do. So I'll restore that point there. But Gobez is on his way, it's still pretty weird. Okay, the line where he's saying it was our fault, it's our responsibility, we're responsible for that being stolen, that's missing in Super NES, I'll mark that off. Okay, J2E. It's our fault that we lost the crystal. I would say that it was stolen, not that we lost it. If there's anything we can do to help, we'll say that's fine. J2E, were you better before? Alright. That's fine. Alright. Then... Okay. So both of these lines are missing the naming way. 1, 2. Giott then says, Gorobeza ga fuin no dokutsu ni mukatteru ima ga chansu ja. So now is our chance while the Golbeza is headed to the sealed cave. Alright, this Golbez is on his way. It was probably meant to be down here for Giott, but it was a mistake, so I already pointed that out. So now is the chance for us to regain... Oh man. Alright, well, I'm going to take off that because that's pretty weird. It's kind of tripping me up. Okay. So that line is weird, so we'll move to J2E. While Golbez is occupied at the sealed cave, ... Alright. Alright, for some reason Kane is saying, Golbez's forces approach. What do we do? That doesn't make sense to me. Why is he saying that? Alright. So a bunch of this text is getting just wrecked in a lot of the translations. Alright, so now is the chance while Golbez is on his way to the sealed cave. Babuiru no to ni senyu shi, nanatsu no kristaru o ubai kaishite moraenu ka. Could I ask you to steal back the crystal, the 7 crystals, by sneaking into the Tower of Babuiru. So now he's like asking us, requesting us. This is his request all along. Super NES. So now is the chance for us to regain other crystals in the Tower of Babel. Would have liked it to say the other 7, so mark that off. J2E. Could you sneak into the Tower of Babel and retrieve the other 7 crystals? Alright, that's pretty good. Anyway, you're going to retrieve the other crystals from the Tower of Babel. Alright, I like the 7 to be in there. Man, Nameway just ended, but there's still a lot more text in this. Alright, Kane says, Babiru no to ni, verb into the Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel is how that goes. So he's repeating the Tower of Babel line back at the guy. In the Super NES, that becomes what? I don't like that. As the tone is weird too. Okay, J2E. The Tower of Babel? Alright, that's good. And nothing on naming way. Yang then says, Teki no honkyo ni senyu shiroto osharuka. So he's being polite, but kind of like emphatic question. You're asking us to infiltrate the enemy's home base? Honkyo, let me check that out, just to be sure. Honkyo. Stronghold? Yeah. I like that word. That's a good word for that. Stronghold, Inner Citadel, Base Headquarters. So you were asking us to sneak into the enemy's stronghold? Super NES. Now Golbez is busy trying to get the last crystal. We... ... Well, I mean, it's not what he's even saying, but the grammar is weird there too, so I'll mark off on there. Then J2E says, Yang says, that huge tower? No, that's not what's being said at all. Let me check what's happening in the old patch. Yeah, we can see in the original J2E patch, Yang used to say, are you telling us to invade the enemy's main base? And then the editor came by and just demolished all that and says, that huge tower? Alright. Why would you do that? That's too bad. There's a backward step. J2E, there's so many backward steps and forward steps with this patch update. Alright. Naming way, that's just missing. Giott continues. Shinpai wa iran. There's no need for worry. Okay. Are you in here anywhere? No need for worry. Alright, so that line's missing and Super NES will take that out. J2E, don't worry. Alright, in the naming way, doesn't have anything. Alright, Giott continues. Wareda no senshatai ga teki o hikitsukeru. Our tank battalion will lure out the enemy or like distract the enemy. Hikitsukeru. How does it show up on here? Hikitsukeru. To attract, to charm, to pull up, to have a convulsion. I don't think that's what that one is though. We'll like lure them out or lure them away, distract them. So our tank battalion will lure away the enemy or something like that. That becomes a Super NES. We'll draw their attention with our tanks. Okay. J2E. I'll have our tank force attack the tower? What? That's not what's being said. Okay, so that was always in that J2E patch. He does not say that they're attacking the tower. Alright, then that's missing the naming way. Okay. Sono suki ni onushira ni kristaru o dakkan shite hoshii. I want you to use that chance, that ski, that like opening, use that opening. I want you to use that opening to steal back the crystals. And the word used here is dakkan, which is kind of a fancy word. Recovery, rescue, or recapture. They changed this in easy type. Dakkan to torimodosite hoshii. So a much simpler way of saying, I want you to get it back. I want you guys to get it back during that opening. Alright, Super NES. We'll draw their attention with our tanks, and you can sneak in. Alright, sneaking in isn't quite the same. Alright, J2E. During the diversion, go in and grab the crystals. Alright, we'll say that's fine. Naming way is losing a point. Alright, I think there's one more line. Gorubeza no inai ima shika nai. Now's the only chance with Gobez gone. A Super NES that trims down to now is the only chance. I'm going to be nice on this one and say that's fine. J2E. Now is our only chance while Gobez is gone. Okay, good. And then naming way is missing it. Naming way is pulling ahead. Or I mean pulling behind. Alright. The party all looks at each other. And then Kane says, "Dosuru." So, what do we do? What do you say? Something like that. What should we do? Super NES, he says, "What do we do?" J2E. So what should we do? And then naming way, that line is missing. Rydia says, "Teki no kichi nan desho." It's the enemy's base, right? Alright. Super NES. Isn't it their fortress? Okay. J2E. It's the enemy's base, isn't it? In naming way, isn't it their stronghold? Alright, I'll say that's fine. Rosa then says, "Tashika ni kiken ne." Indeed, it would be dangerous. Something like that. Super NES, she just says, "It's dangerous." Would have liked that indeed in there, something like that, a slight agreement in there. I won't mark that off. J2E. It would be quite dangerous. Alright. Here, in naming way, Rosa's line is removed, and instead her line might have been renamed and given to Rydia, where she says, "It must be well armed." So that's just not right, so I'm going to take that off. Alright, let me look at what's going on in easy type here. Whoa. Right, next line. Uh-oh. Oh no. Alright, next line. Yang now says, Shikashi, koketsu ni irazun ba koji o ezu. And so he's saying like a fancy idiom, which kind of just means like, oh man, I brought this up on my site. I would like to look at that, but koketsu ni, like, it's kind of like you can't get something, you can't. Koji. Let me look at my site. Let me look at that site. I need to look at my site because I did this. I spent a lot of time on that part. I want to look at it. Yeah, the story of the Tower of Babel. It's in the Bible, but as I recall, there are references to it outside of the Bible as well. Tower of Babel, Dwarf Castle. I have to go way down here. Oh man, this page is long. No wonder this is taking us so long. Alright. Okay, I translated this as, it's kind of a ye olden times Japanese. The proverb translates literally as one may not catch a tiger cub without entering a tiger's lair. And for the easy type release, that proverb was replaced with a simpler, more standard phrase that means waiting around will get us nowhere. Alright. Let's go back to the game. Wanted to make sure I gave that the proper treatment. We can see that in here actually. Let me look at that. Kono mama mate te mo doni mo naranushi. So the proverb was removed from easy type. It's just straight up standard speech now. Kono mama mate te mo. So even if we just wait here, nothing will happen. Alright. So he's saying basically we have to go do it if we want the benefits. Super NES, that becomes, but we must do something now. So it looks like this is based on the easy type text, or related to the easy type text. But we must do something now. I'll take that proverb would have been neat to have in there. J2E says, but you know what they say, ... Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Alright, we'll say that's fine, and I'll allow this extra line in there. Used to be no guts, no glory. Is that a reference to anything? No guts, no glory? Feels like it could be. Alright, naming way. Naming way. It says, but now is the only chance we have. Would have liked that proverb in there. Alright. I'm kind of worried for naming way. It's losing a lot of points very quickly from all of this cut content. Alright. Kane then responds, Gorubeza no inai ima shika chansu wa arumai. There is no chance but now. Oh, Gobez is gone. Kind of a cool way. Arumai. I kind of like that Japanese phrasing. Okay. Again, the part about Gobez being gone just keeps getting dropped out of the Super NES translation. Alright. Kane says, now is the only chance we have in Super NES. And we'll say that's fine. J2E. Our only chance would be now, while Gobez is elsewhere. Alright. That line is just missing a naming. Alright. Next line. Cecil then says Yosh, ... And that means alright. We're like, okay, like getting ready to do it. And then Super NES, okay, ... J2E, alright, then ... And nothing in naming way. Alright. The party looks now toward the king, and Cecil says, Yatte mimasu. We'll try it. We'll try. Something like that. We'll do it and see how it goes. Kind of how that literally goes. It's a little less direct than just saying we'll do it. Just saying we'll try would be a little closer maybe to show up. We'll have a go. We'll try and do something. We'll take a chance. But all the translations just say, we'll do it. Oh, the old J2E used to say, we'll give it a try. That would have been better, so I'm gonna mark off J2E there. But then it's unfair. I'm gonna mark off everyone. J2E dragged everyone down. Oh no.
I miss you.
Then the king responds, Tanomu zo, I'm counting on you. Kono shiro no chika ni nukemichi e no iriguchi ga aru. Beneath this castle is like an entrance that leads to a secret path. Nukemichi is like a way out. It just says loophole here. It's like a way out. And then he says, okay, that's fine. Super NES. Good. There is a path through the exit and the bottom of this castle. So it says Iriguchi, which is funny. It's like entrance. And then exit in Super NES. There's a path through the exit in the bottom of this castle. That's kind of strange. I'll just say it's fine. J2E. Thank you. Under the castle is the entrance to a secret passage. A secret passage, that's a good way, like when you have like in the movie Clue, when they pull back the bookcase and they pull back a book and there's a secret path, that's like a Nukemichi. A secret passageway, I guess. Alright. Okay, J2E. Oh, I mean, name anyway. Good. There's a path to the other side of the plateau in the castle basement. No, I don't know about other side of the plateau. What's going on, J2E? Alright. What's going on in here? Alright. The Spoony Bard was many weeks ago, and there is no Japanese equivalent. It was made up in the Super NES, and it just took on a life of its own, so it has no Japanese equivalent, really. Check day 4 or 5. At the start of that stream, I do like a whole lecture on the Spoony Bard. Okay, so there's a secret path, there's like a secret passageway beneath the castle is basically what it's saying. Next line. Shitaku ga deki shidai, yuku ga yoe. Oh, you can do some fun like N2, N1 grammar tests on there. Shitaku ga deki shidai. I guess that's probably N2. So, may you go forth once your preparations are complete. Super NES, go whenever you are ready. J2E, it's normally off limits, but you can use it. Nope, that's not right. You made that up. Okay, naming way, go when you're ready. Alright, good. And then Giott's final line here is Gobuun o inotte oruzo. So I look forward, or I am praying for your military victory, or your military luck, your fortune in battle. Gobuun, the fortunes of war. I pray for your fortune in war. I pray for your good luck in war. It's a really nice way of saying that. It feels very warrior-like. That became an easy type because it's kind of fancy. They just changed it to say Bujio inotte oruzo. So this changes the meaning to I pray for your safety. I pray that you'll be unharmed. A lot of times this will just get like dumbed down into just say good luck in old translations. I think that might have been in Mother 2 to Earthbound also. Alright, Super NES, like I just said, says good luck. J2E, I pray for your success. He used to say I pray for your good luck, but specifically in battle, like that's the Buun, that's the Bu and Bushido, if you know Bushido. Okay, naming way, go when you're ready, and good luck. Okay, we'll say those are all fine. Alright, I need to do a save state here, and I need to do, how do I do this? I'm going to bless chat with the current scores because I'm gonna have to redo this. You guys are now blessed by Super NES J2E naming way. Alright. What we're gonna do now is a little trick. You guys have a lot of negativity in the chat all of a sudden. Alright. I think this is how you do this, right? Is this not how we do it? How do we do that? Oh, I see what we do. We have to do the other one. Other one. So you have to use the warp spell, and you can come straight back into the crystal room, and the crystal is even here. Not only that, if you check it, you can actually get it. Obtain the dark crystal. Golbez's hand lied to us. And now that we have this, we can actually just like skip an entire section of the game. So it's gonna think that like we can just now go straight to, like we can probably talk to him now, and then the next part will start. While we're here, let's just look at the crystal. Yami no Crystal. That's the darkness crystal. Maybe I need to fix Super NES's icons too. So we still have to do the next part? Oh well. Anyway, that's the trick that you can do. Apparently, this was not fixed for FF2 US. So you can do this on the Super NES version, and you can do it on the original Japanese version. However, apparently it was fixed for the easy type. So there's another divergent thing to look at, to add to the list. Alright, now let me go back. So we could just like skip an entire section of the game, but we have to do another part first. I don't want to show that off, but... Alright, now I have to re-give everyone their points. Okay, 625 for Super NES. 627, negative 627 for J2E. Naming way is at negative 661. So these numbers are so big and so negative that like a lot of people are probably looking at them, they're like, one is worse than the other, but no, if this was all in a graph, they'd basically be a straight line, I feel. Alright. Now we can talk to all of these people in the throne room. So we'll start over here. This guard says, Laliho oboeta. That means Laliho, did you remember it? And then he's holding again in the dwarfs in the Japanese version. They tend to hold their vowels at the end of sentences, as we can see there. So oboeta became oboeta. So there's kind of like their little bit of like dialect or accent. And it's just missing in translation. But in the Super NES, it becomes, oh, this means Lally Ho. Did you remember it? Or have you learned it? It means in Super NES that becomes, have you learned it? Lally Ho. Basically, it's saying, do you remember it? Remember. Alright, J2E. Lally Ho, have you learned it yet? I'll say it's fine. In the naming way, do you know Lally Ho? It's a fun rhyme. But it misses the mark, but I won't mark off anything there. Alright, this other soldier guard says Sensha Taiwa Dwafu no Shusendyoku. The tank battalion is the dwarves' main military force. Shusendyoku, right? Like main war, like it's like our main battle power is from our dwarf tanks. Kantan ni wa yararenai. That means they won't be easily done in. Super NES, the tanks are our main forces. We won't give up easily. Kantan ni wa yararenai won't be done in easily. Okay. Then Lali was added in there. That's fine. I don't mind that they will put in there like little quirks in there like that. J2E. The tank force is the dwarves' main strength. I guess so. It was more like military strength, main military strength. We won't be defeated so easily. Alright. Naming way. Tanks are our main force, Lally. They won't be easily beaten. Main force is probably pretty good. I would have liked, because Shinshatai makes it sound like it's like a battalion, like a specific group or, I don't know, force. So just saying tanks is kind of off the mark. Same there too, but I'll say it's fine. Alright, let's talk to this other guard. Owa Naki Ohi Nobumo Luka Hime o Kawaigatteru. And that means the king is dotes over Princess Luka to make up for the late queen as well. So he like extra pampers her, extra dotes over her to make up for the loss of the queen. Alright. So Super NES. The king has shown more love to Princess Luka since the queen is gone. No, that makes it sound like he never cared for her. But now he's being doubly caring, basically. That's kind of weird. J2E. The king's been really kind to Luka since the queen died. It's a little closer, but it feels strangely off. But again, this boon is also this hard. A lot of times in Japanese to English translation, this boon works so well in Japanese, but it becomes clunky in translation sometimes. Naming way. The king has doted on Princess Luka since the queen passed. Same problem. Alright, I really would have liked this to say Princess Luka in J2E, but I will allow it because it's pretty clear, especially if she's standing right next to the king. Alright, this fourth guard says Chite mo nareru to ii toko. So when you get used to it, the underground is a good place too. Yokattara zutto ite kudasai dari. If you'd like, please stay for a long time, Lally, or please stay forever, Lally, if you'd like, if it pleases you. Super NES. How do you like it here? Stay as long as you like. Okay, that first line I wanna take a point off on that. Stay as long as you like is fine. But he's promoting the fact that underground is a good place once you get used to it. You're not just asking politely. J2E. If you can get used to it, the underworld's pretty nice. I hope you can stay here a while, Lally. Alright, that's probably okay. Oh, J2E's got a bunch of changes. If you get used to it, the underworld is really nice. If it's okay, stay here a long time, Lally. Alright, that was better in the old days, but it's fine. Naming way, how do you like it here? Stay as long as you like. Okay, right off on the naming way. I'll talk to Luka here. Watashi no oningyo o sonna koto ni tsukau nante yurusenai wa. So feminine style in here. Using my dollies like that is yurusenai. How is this thing gonna do yurusenai? In the same way that shoganai or shikataganai, the easy translation, like if you don't want to think too hard, is it can't be helped. Yurusenai often will be brainlessly translated as will not forgive or I can't forgive. And sometimes that's okay. But it's more just like the feeling of that, of like, it's unthinkable, it's unfathomable, it's... so it's not always about forgiving or anything like that. But in this case, you could probably say, I'll never forgive them for using my dollies like that. In this case, Yurusenai probably would work fine. Or sometimes it can mean like, I'll make them pay. Yurusenai. It depends. Alright. Super NES becomes, oh, my dolls. ... Take off on that. J2E. My dolls were evil? I'm so angry I could scream. I used to say, my dolls were evil? I'm so angry that they used my dolls to do such a thing like that. It used to be better. A little bit better. Oh wait, yeah, my dolls were evil part was not in the original. So I'll mark that off. Anyway, how dare they use my dolls for bad things? Okay, very good. The king is saying the same thing as before. Alright, now we can get out. Now we can walk around the whole castle, where the whole castle is open to us now. It's a pretty big castle, so we'll be here for a while. Alright, that's the same. Get back here, guy. Yeah, that's still the same, even though like we already met the king. Alright, that's the same. Alright, actually while I go in here, I want to show this off. Let me find, so see this guy right here? He says dwarf items are mysterious. Can humans even use them? Use them properly? What that says in Japanese. And we looked at this line yesterday, and we can see that the naming way, it lists it as no text. And so today I looked at it, and I was confused because I just couldn't figure out what was happening. And eventually I discovered that this NPC is actually just completely missing from the naming way version. Here's the version on the screen right now. This NPC was literally deleted from the naming way, and so I decided to add a new rule. If you delete an NPC, I'm going to take off 5 points, so I'm going to do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Luckily it missed -666 there. Anyway, so that you shouldn't delete NPCs. That's like, if you're trying to do a legit translation, NPC deletion is like the craziest thing you can do. So there we go. That's what's up with that. I thought I had like misprogrammed something, or it wasn't like, maybe they had moved the text to somewhere else. What I think might have happened is this line feels a lot like lines said by two dwarves on the other side of the castle. And then they probably thought, oh, this is just the same, let's save and remove one. And I checked in FF2 Super NES, this character is here. And you know, this text is even here. Dwarf items are strange. We got F in the chat for paying respects. He got written out of the history books. Alright. Yeah, at some point, oh man, okay, let's get everyone to life first. We got 2 dead people. Wait a minute. How was Howard Yang and Rosa talking during all of that? Because they're both dead right now. Alright. We're just gonna throw some dead bodies into the beds and hope that they come back to life. They're swoon. Yeah. Yeah, between the battle stats not being correct, we saw that the battle stats were not correct in naming way yesterday, and these missing NPCs, I'm starting to worry a little more about naming way. I get the feeling it'll come back together near the end of the game. It's this part of the game in the middle where it's most likely you're going to start missing things. It's also why J2E is so full of all the nonsense probably. Right, everyone's back to life just from a nice sleep. How do I don't want this layout right now. Let me change. Let me put Kane here. There we go. That's a little better. Man, this place is so complicated. I don't know where to go first. Okay, let's not go downstairs. Let's go upstairs. King could be in the back, but he's got armor and things. Okay, now we are in the. Oh, let me look at that. We are now in the left tower. We saw this back in Fabul. Hidari no To. Hidari is left side. And it became a Super NES left tower, J2E is left tower, and Naming Way does west tower. There's a word for west if necessary, but oh well. I don't really care, it's not a big deal. Oh, I forget where all the secrets are in this place. Yeah, let's come out here. We're going out to the outside a little bit. We're on the top of the castle. Here's a guard. Ijo nashi. And that means, like, nothing out of the ordinary. Like, he's keeping watch, and he's saying there's nothing out of the ordinary in his little bit of dialect style that he's doing. Super NES, it says clear. J2E, nothing out of the unusual. And naming way says all clear. This other guard says Kochi no daijobu, daijobu, Kochi no daijobu. And that means everything's okay on over here too. So he's on the opposite side, so you can say side. So this side's also okay, maybe you could do. Super NES. This side is clear too. Oh good. Oh no, J2EY. All's quiet on the Eastern Front. Used to say no problems here either. Alright, so I'm gonna mark off on J2E 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for that reference. That pop, well, it's not, I won't know if it's called pop culture, but just culture. Naming way. This side's clear too. Alright. Some guys up here. Get up there. Alright, so we have the guys, 2 soldiers at the very top of the castle now. Gorubeza Hikiageta. So Golbez like has retreated. Not Hikiageru is to withdraw. So Golbeza retreated. Went away, kind of feeling. Super NES, Golbez is gone. J2E, Golbeza retreated. Naming way, Golbez is gone. Alright, this final guard at the top of the castle says Chijo ni wa waruyatsu ippai ka. I kind of like how that sounds in Japanese, ippai ka. That means, are there lots of bad guys in the above world too? And then he says it in kind of a dialect way there. Super NES. So here's where Chite is the underground. It's like the name of the place, Chite. So that means that the opposite is the Chijo, and Chijo is like above ground, literally ground and then up. So you could say, like, you could come up with a word for that, like overworld. It says naming way has here. They just say upper world in Super NES and J2E, but this is where you would want maybe potentially the proper noun if you wanted to have a proper noun in there. Super NES, many bad guys on the upper world. That's fine. I'm gonna say the dialect is embedded in here, but technically it's probably just the first draft writer. J2E, is the upper world filled with evil men? Ooh, I don't like the men in there, you gotta be careful. It just says Yatsu is like guys or people. It's a kind of a bad word for people, with evil people. Yeah, I used to say bad guys, so they'll mark that off. It's a little minor detail. Naming way. Are there many like Golbez on the overworld? Okay, I don't want to bring Golbez into this chat, so I marked off a naming way there. So I guess Rydia has that. Rydia is now infected with the back row glitch. That's pretty good to know. I'm gonna need help with my equipment, so let me know what my equipment should eventually be. But I'm gonna have to do some money glitches at some point to make that work. We are now in the Migi no To. Migi no To means the right tower. And then that became the east tower naming way, which makes sense. Alright, we have a chest here. Let's open this chest. This became, it's the Dwarf Axe, the Dwarf no Ono. And it's Dwarf, Dwarf Axe, and Dwarf Axe. I can probably do this on him now, right? And just get him to do it. Get that wind spear out of here. Oh, should I use this now? This silver apple? Should I use this on Rydia? Where are you, Rydia? Let me know. Is this the person to give this to? I feel like it is. Alright, so I've raised her HP. I'm noticing that this has not disappeared yet. Maybe there's a glitch that we could do to make infinites of those, but oh well. Got a lot of junk to figure out later. Let's just move this over here. Alright. Now to go upstairs. There's a guard up here and a bunch of pots. Let's talk to the guard. Jioto o kara yurushi detteru. Koko no takara daiji ni tsukae. That means permission has come down from King Giott. Use the treasures here well, or like take good care of them when you use them. Alright. So there's two lines there. Super NES says King Giott permits you to take the treasures. The second line is missing. I'll mark off a point on Super NES. J2E. King Giott sent his permission personally. Use the treasure well. Would have liked it to say the treasure's here, but I'll say it's fine. In naming way, King Giott permits you to take what you want, and then the second line is gone, so I'll mark off there. Well, Midnight Wonko, I put the dwarf axe on him for that reason, so that he'll get the glitch. I was one step ahead, haha. Okay, now I'm checking the pots. I used to remember where they all were in here. Aha. A Bakasu no sake. So a Bacchus wine. Oh no. They just had wine back there or something for some reason. Is there a way to get to that last pot there? Alright, now we are on the 5th floor of this tower, and it's like a little bit of a puzzle. Okay, in this chest we have the Gin no Sunadoke. That's the silver hourglass. That's different from the copper one. Let me get that copper one over here. I need to start using these things. Over here, Gin no Sunadoke became dummied out in Easy Type and Super NES. Right. J2E, Silver Hourglass, stops time for all targets. Naming Way Silver, stops all enemies. Only one pot per tower. What a weird rule. Alright, we have an elixir, hooray! And we have a power wrist, power risto. That became strength in Super NES, power wrist in J2E, and power ring in Naming Way. Power wrist. We'll look at that in a second. I'll give that to someone. Don't really know who. How do I get this one? Oh yeah. And we have an ether one. Just an ether. I don't think there's any more secrets in this tower, right? This is all for that tower. Okay, now we're gonna go back to that left tower. And then we're gonna go get those treasures. Okay. Going upstairs. There's a guard here. Omaera mo Golbeza to tatakatteru? Koko no takara mottete gambare. So you guys are also fighting Golbez? Take these treasures with you and do your best. Alright, that becomes in Super NES. Fighting against Golbez? Then you're our ally. Take the treasures. I'll say this is fine, it could be a lot better. J2E. You guys are fighting Golbeza too? Please take the treasure here. Good luck. And then he used to say, then take the treasure here and good luck. Naming way, take the treasure. It'll prove useful in the war against Golbez. This feels like a different RPG all of a sudden, this phrasing. Golbez's line is gone. Okay, I'll be nice. I'll be nice. Naming way's taking the beating, so I'll be nice. Okay, I'm looking for the secret pot. I think it's a secret hidden one. Power Wrist raises Yang's attack, but better to give him a rune ring. Alright. Okay, come down under here. Aha, Bacchus wine. Again, they're just hiding all the booze back here. They're the Booze Brothers. Alright, upstairs. Okay, we have naming way up here for some reason. We have a high potion. How many of those do I even have? Okay, pretty good on those. This weird maze to get to this one. We've got an elixir. Got an ether. And a black belt. Kuro Obi Dogi. Yeah, so a black belt and dogi is like, what is a good word for that? Just like an undergarment? Like a padded undershirt? Just like what you would probably use in martial arts training, that kind of one. So it's a black belt. It's more than just a black belt. Like, it's the actual clothes. In Super NES, this became blue belt or blue belt. BL.belt. This is the problem with BL. It can become blue. I don't like that, so I'm gonna mark off there. I'm gonna have a BLK or something like that. Maybe just a BK at the very least. J2E received black belt. Naming me received black belt. Radius now has a black belt in karate. I assume naming way those are his rabbit ears, because in Japan they see a rabbit in the moon. Alright, so I think that's all for those treasures. Now let's go back downstairs. Burger King belt. The other day I remember that BK Knights, wasn't that like a brand of shoes they were always promoting on Nickelodeon? Let's sell some stuff. Let me sell some stuff. Well, let me put black belt. Probably should go on this guy, right? 25/7. Yeah, okay. Power wrist. Who's that going? Should I give that to him? I don't know. That defense goes kind of down. Let me give it to Cecil. What happens with Cecil? Okay, what else? While I'm here, anything else that I can give people? Alright. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna sell stuff. Kimpogi, I'm gonna sell you. Thunderclaw, Fairy Claw. Mithril Shield, I'll throw that away. Wind Spear. I'm gonna leave that. Maybe I can like duplicate it in a second. Mithril Hammer, take that away. Ice Claw, I don't know. Mithril Sword, get rid of that. Get rid of that. This Rod, I'll get rid of that. I don't really care about some of the stuff, like this Bacchus wine. I guess I can give it to the big chocobo, right? Uh-oh. I took away the rod. Oops. Thunderclaw and Ice Claw in the next dungeon. What about when I'm outside? Thunder Claw and the Ice Claw. We're already having the gold hairpin. Oh, I think I gave that to the Chocobo. I just sold the change rod. Yeah, the fat Chocobo. Let me go talk to the fat Chocobo. They worship the fat Chocobo in this dwarf kingdom. I really think that's funny. And he's not just like this faceless entity, he actually appears here. Okay. Okay, we'll get that. Put that on Radia. That'll be good for her. Ooh, I jumped up a lot there. Yeah, I'm sad that I sold that rod. I didn't think I was going to need it, but it's okay. I think I usually just give her whips and stuff anyway for no good reason. Alright, don't want to talk to these guys yet. I guess I could. Let me just go talk to all those guys. Alright. Just want to make sure I've gotten everything. Alright. Now we'll go into this little room here. It's like the infirmary, I guess. These are like, they're red colored, so I guess that's that they're like healthcare professionals. Koko wa Kyugo Shitsu. This is the infirmary. You see it called nursing room a lot in the Super NES. This is the nursing room. J2E. This is the medical room. Period. They took out his delivery in the J2E. In naming way, this is the infirmary. And they're very cheerful. These dwarves are very cheerful. Alright, talk to this one. Dwafu Karada Ganjo Demo Tamani Kegasuru. So kind of like semi-broken grammar feeling here. And dwarf bodies are tough, or dwarf bodies are sturdy. Technically there's no verb, so dwarf bodies sturdy, but sometimes get hurt. How that goes. Super NES. Dwarves are tough, but we get hurt too. Alright, J2E. Wait, the Super NES. Dwarves are tough, but we get hurt too. Okay, I'll say that's fine. J2E, sometimes even dwarves get hurt. It's missing that first line. Yeah, you can see they deleted that in the J2E there. Naming way. Dwarves are tough, but we get hurt too. Okay. I mean, Karada has body in there if you're curious. Alright. Now we have two dwarves in the bed. Goo, goo, and that's a snoring sound. Very good. Maybe not necessarily snoring, but deep sleep sound. And Super NES, that's zzz. J2E, it's zzz. Z. And naming way, it's Z. In Japanese, they do have the Z, Z, Z. Like, they know what that is. So sometimes you'll see that. Okay, this other one is saying Nettereba Naoru Dari. Sleep makes better, Lali. Sleep heals us, Lali. Something like that. If sleep, heal up, Lally. That's how that feels. Super NES. Sleep and get well. Okay. J2E. There's nothing like a good night's sleep to make you feel better, Lolly. I used to say, if you sleep, you'll get better, Lolly. So it used to be better. This feels like when I would do my anime translation professionally, and then they would have punch-up writers come in, kind of like wreck the ideas, like this very, very few words, kind of very simplistic, and then here these kind of like, I guess maybe a writer who's happy with their writing skills was like, this is done, we're gonna expand all of this. I'm not fond of this, so I'm gonna take that out. Naming way. I need to get well quick. Oh no. Wasn't there an item in here? Guess not. Alright, so we have a dwarf guarding a shelf full of bottles. O no yurushi aru nara tosu. Do you have the king's permission? In that case, I will let you pass. Super NES. Have permission? Okay, Lolly. Like, the king is not mentioned. Being allowed to pass is not mentioned in here. I'll be nice. J2E. You have the king's permission? Then you may pass. Naming way. Go ahead, Lolly. So the permission part is missing on naming way. And then the dwarf does a little hop and opens a secret door. That's where we have to go to continue the story. But he does his hop again if I keep talking to him. I wonder if I can do the sliding trick and then get him to jump on top of me or something. I don't know. Alright, so there are 2 guards posted where the fat chocobo's throne is. This first one says Debu Chocobo. Fat chocobo. Rudemono. You rude person. You rude ones. Koko de wa kami no tori. Here it is the, like, the bird god. Or the bird of the gods. Something like that. So Debu kind of means fat. Chubby or fat. They just call it Big Chocobo in the Super NES. I would have liked it to be fat, but it's okay. Big Chocobo? No, no. Here's the bird of sacred, Lolly. So this is just weird English. I'll just mark off on the weird English. But I'm glad that it is conveyed that they are considered sacred here, the Big Chocobos. This could have, easily messed up and we would have lost that. But it doesn't call us rude either. I'll say that was part of the mix. No, here, I'll take off that point. Rude mono is down in there. Insolent fellow, rude fellow. J2E. Fat chocobo. How rude. It's called the bird god here. Used to be called the chubby chocobo. It's called the bird of God here. Naming way. Fat chocobo heresy. This is the sacred bird. Sacred bird is pretty good for that, actually. Kami no tori. Better than bird of sacred and bird god. I like that. But heresy is kind of strong. This other guard says, Koko ni wa nandemo azukatte kureru subarashi okata ga arawareru. So you can see that some dwarves speak with few words, like this. And then others actually do speak kind of like normal people. So there's this different speaking styles across these. So this one says, here there appears okata. And kata is like the polite word for human, or I mean person. So like the great one, like the great person, the great wonderful person appears here, and they will hold on to anything you want. Anything you give them, they'll hold on to it for you. Hold on to anything for you. Super NES, a big chocobo. So it's not stated okata is like this lady or gentleman, but it's just like a very polite word for a person, or in this case it's not a person, so you might say one. It says a big chocobo. That kind of loses the reverence that they hold. Super NES, I'll take off point there. J2E, here a glorious bird who will keep anything for you appears. Bird was added in there. The word bird does not exist here. So like if you see this guy first, and then you see what it is, you do the joke, and you go up here and you see, oh, they're just talking about a bird. The joke gets spilled out here. J2E. I would have liked that to not have been bird. A glorious one, the glorious one would be better there. Naming way. The sacred bird cares for your belongings. It appears here. So I marked that off. Can I even walk here? Nope, I can't walk there. Alright. See, now we're on the east side. East side. This is a dangerous part of town. Right. We have two dwarves walking around. Let's talk to this one. Dwarf Nobuki, omoi. Omoi. Dwarf weapons heavy. Ningen ni otsukaeru kana? Atsukaeru kana? Dwarf weapons heavy. Humans, can they use them? Let's see. Superness. Dwarf weapons are heavy. Can you use it? Would have liked the word humans in there, but I guess I'll say that's fine in this case. J2E. Dwarven weapons are heavy. Will you humans be able to use them? It feels a little wordier than I would like, but it's fine. Okay, naming way. Dwarven armor is hard as stone. Oh, did they mess up? Alright. I think they mixed this up with the other NPC. Well, first I'll just mark that off. Dwarven armor is hard as stone. Humans probably can't even walk in it. Alright. Let me talk to the other one. Okay. This one says, Dwarfu no bogu katai. Ningen ga kite ugokeru kana? So dwarf armor is heavy, or like dwarf equipment. Like protective equipment is hard. Dwarf protective equipment is hard. Can humans wear it and move around, I wonder? Can humans even wear it and move around? Super NES. Dwarf armors are hard. Can you move in it? In a strangely iconic, or not iconic, ironic way, the kind of broken, bad first draft English really fits this style really well in the Japanese. This is kind of how it feels. Dwarf armors are hard. Can you move in it? I would have liked the word humans in there. But, yeah, this is better. That's how it feels. And then when they, yeah, and then this naming way text down here is a little like more standard speech style. J2E, dwarven armor is thick. Can you humans move in it? So thick is different from hard. I'll mark that off on J2E. Naming way. Dwarven weapons are heavy as lead. I doubt humans can even lift them. So that's mixed up with the other NPC. Let me go back to that NPC now. Okay, dwarven armor is hard as stone. So stone isn't technically in there. Humans probably can't even walk in it. I mean, walk is different from being able to move in general. But we'll see. Alright. Okay, that line is dwarf weapons are heavy. Can they handle them? Dwarven weapons are heavy as lead. So the lead part isn't in there. I doubt humans can even lift them. Alright. We'll say that all that has been now checked. Over here, let's get some equipment checks. Dwarf axe I already got. What should I get here, you guys? Should I get this ice? Or I mean this flame spear? I guess I probably just should anyway. I think I have a flame sword already. Right? I just don't have it equipped. Maybe I do have it equipped. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, dwarf axe I don't care about. Alright. And do I want Kane to have this? Well, I'll let him do his thing first. Alright, here's where the money goes. This is where we're spending all of our money. 2 flame shields I can possibly get. Do I want to get those? Flame mail, those are expensive. Shisai no Boshi. Alright, just spend a bunch of money doing some dumb stuff. Shisai no Robu gives an improvement, that's good. And then the silver ring bracelet thingy, I'm changing that for the rune. Ooh, nice. Okay. The rune bracelet is called the rune no Udewa. Udewa is like a bracelet or a bangle. That became the Maho no Udewa, so the magic bracelet is clear in the easy type. Super NES, that becomes rune. I probably should put a thing there later. This becomes the rune ring in J2E. I think that is a mistake because a ring goes on your finger. I'll mark that off. Naming way, I'll mark that off. Because Udewa is like goes on your arm. Alright, so seems like she's good there. I don't know about her whip there. Okay, I don't know, she just doesn't have a whip, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna equip Kane. Mithril Helm. It's gonna be a Mithril Helm. Armor. Flame Mail, is it any good? Is it worth it? And then, okay, that's the same. Seesaw, Flame Sword, Flame Shield, Mithril Helm. Magic, I'll do. Flame Mail is on already. And Power Wrist I just put on. There's no downside to Flame Mail? Okay. For some reason I just feel like it makes you weak to ice. I'm always worried about that. Alright, his Yang's helmet will stay the same. That will stay the same. And then the rune is really good. Dang. And Rosa. You have the Holy Arrows, the Great Bow. Let's give you this hat. That's good. That's good. And we'll give you this rune thing. All good. Okay. Now to sell things. I have to do... this is one of the things that video games teaches you. Inventory management, resource management, financial consequences of poor planning. There's a lot of things that we learn in games and we kind of don't think about it. And we were always told as kids, like, they're gonna rot your brains. But guess what? We are now in charge. We're Charles in charge. Get rid of that. These claws, do I care about the claws too much anymore? Flame shield. Oh yeah, I was going to do the flame shield trick. Well, it doesn't matter. Fire claw can be sold. Alright. I will properly deal with all this stuff later. Oh, I can get rid of this echo grass. Right? That's what that is. Alright. Yeah, we don't have a Yang for too much longer. Alright, we did that. We can go in here. If we go in here, this is a secret room, and it's a pub. It's Pubu Rariho. So this is a pub, and the pub is named Laliho. In Super NES, that became Cafe Howdy. So it became a cafe, and they messed up the Laliho connection. And the reason that probably happened is it's like set, like this isn't the location names, and it's not part of the main script. So someone else might have translated this, or translated it at a different time, or maybe they translated this first before the main script. So that's where howdy comes from. I marked off 2 on Super NES there. J2E, Lally Ho Pub. In the naming way, Pub Lally Ho. Alright. We can talk to this guy who's in this pub. And he goes, ooey. And that's like a hic sound, like you're hiccuping, ooey. Because he's in a pub. He's been drinking. In Super NES, that is missing, obviously. And then J2E, his hiccup is missing. It's like not even technically a hiccup. In naming way. Alright. We'll get to naming way in a second. Then he says, Minna ikusa da toka de chitto mo nomanai. Everyone is so talking about war and stuff that they won't drink at all. Ore ikusa yori sake daiji. For me, more important than war is alcohol, is booze. And he's talking in that style of kind of like broken speech, broken grammar feeling. He's also drinking, obviously. Alright, so in the Super NES, this becomes, let's party, let's dance, lolly. Oh, wait a minute. In Japanese, he continues, Odocha odari. I'm gonna dance, lolly, or time to dance, lolly. Super NES, those first 3 lines are missing, so I took off 2 more. And then, let's party, let's dance, lolly. Alright, we'll say that's fine there. J2E, this is what I need. Less fighting, more drinking. Oh, and just a little dancing too. I'm kind of impressed, but we'll see. It used to say, everyone's warring, not drinking. Booze is important. Is more important to me than war. Let's dance, lolly. So they really emphasize his drinkiness, and his his pronunciation is all messed up because he's drinking in the new J2E. This is what I would actually call, this is like a lot what like modern localization and like script editors will come in and do this. This is probably, I would say, is the standard. So he's saying the stuff just in a way that we would expect it. So I'm gonna say this is fine now. I wouldn't do it this way, but this is just how it is. Alright, naming way. Let's get funky, lolly. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Then we'll say, let's get funky as let's dance, lolly. Alright. And so now he's doing a dance, he's spinning around. That's not good if you're drunk and you're spinning a lot, so he probably is not going to make it well through this. Okay, he's just spinning around all crazily as some goofy music plays. He jumps over us. How is this dwarf jumping so high? Oh, he pushed Rydia. We're just watching him dance and spin. And then he goes, Ooga! That's like a barf feeling sound, like he's sick. Ooga! It's probably not going to show up on here, but it just feels like a barfing sound, or like a sick to the stomach sound. Ooga! Then he says, Masu masu mawate kita. Now things are spinning even more. Kore ga honto no yopparari. So he's doing a pun here. Yopparai is the word for drunk, or being drunk, or a drunkard. Yopparai, but it won't show up here due to the pun. So yopparai got combined with lolly. So yoppalali. It's kind of a fun wordplay in there. In the Super NES, the barf sound is gone. The spinning around is more, and then the drunk joke is missing. It just becomes lolly lolly ho. That sounds like yabba dabba doo in my head. Lolly lolly ho. Okay, J2E. Ag. I guess that's the sick sound. Weiss, the room's spinning. Lolly, I'm really drunk. They didn't see the pun. They missed the pun. I'm gonna take off a point on that pun. It used to be, Ugh, the world's spinning even more. Damn. I'm really drunk, Lolly. Okay, so they didn't have the joke in there. They missed that joke in the old one too. Naming way is Lolly Lolly Ho. 1, 2, 3. We got some talk of FF5's localization in the chat right now, especially the wyvern thing. I love that happened. The interesting thing is that we got moved. When we talked to him, we were sitting here, but then we got moved to here. If we do it again, will we get moved again? Yep, we got moved back a little bit. I feel like this could be abused in some way if someone found the right setup. You could probably get something neat out of that. Alright, so we're not going to go in here just yet. I'm going to go out to save it because we've done a whole lot. But right here is a secret. Ta-da! In the Super NES version, this is taken out. You can't walk in here. And in here is a secret development room with all like the staff members of the game. They're hiding in there, and you can talk to them and fight them. We'll go there in a second. And is it in the easy type too? I guess we'll see if the text is still in there. Let's get out of here. I think this just goes up to there, right? Yeah, it goes up there. Let me go out to save it. I wanted to do my money trick while I'm here. I gotta get my stuff ready for it. I'll just do it down here. If I remember how to do it. Alright. So the airship is now gone. Sid has taken the airship from us. And although he left, we just got Rydia in our party instead. Okay, save state. Alright, let's get into a battle here. Alright. Oh, let's look at these other enemies. Here we have the, where's the button? We're fighting the armadillo looking guys, but then we're also fighting some turtles that are like fiery looking themed. In Japanese, they're called Maguman Totasu. So like Magman tortoise. There's an N in there, in the Magman. I guess that makes it like an adjective. That became the Faya Tatoru. So it's still in English, English words in the easy type. It becomes fire turtle. And we can see the stat changes there. That became tortoise, just straight up tortoise in Super NES. Magma turtle without an E in there in J2E. And just tortoise and naming way. Alright, and we got all the stats here and stuff. Probably next weekend I'll update this and have more stats and neat things in there or something, I don't know. Alright. Now to do my trick. If I do it right. I forget if I'm going to do it right. I hope I did that right. Yep, I did. You can see the little mistake that's going on up here. And then we have a whole bunch of flame swords. And then we happen to have an extra flame shield too. Let's go sell that stuff. So maybe we'll get a bunch of money. I'm gonna go sell this stuff. Please be for a lot. Ooh, we're gonna be set for a while. So that flame shield. Yeah, we have now almost 2 million gil. That's probably gonna take us through for a while. I'll get rid of this wind spear. I don't really care for it. Okay. While I'm here, I'm gonna finally do this. Get this cottage up here. Get this claw over here. That's fine. Blah. I don't really like all of these weird little items. I don't use them enough. I need to use them more often, but I also don't fight enough. Oops. Okay, I feel a lot better that way. Now I want to buy some items. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go get some items. Probably don't even need them at this point. Like, I doubt I will use all 30 of those potions. Alright, how many Phoenix Downs do I have? A lot. A lot of those. Now we're probably set for the rest of the game here. Ah, get over here. There we go. Alright, now we can, let me save state it just. Now I want to go talk to down here. I want to go down here. Yeah, it's very nice to have like very knowledgeable people in the chat. Okay, now this is a secret passageway that he was telling us about. Okay, we have a guard. Now we're like in a secret passageway underneath the castle. There's a guard here. Daddy ho! And it's all lolly hoes everywhere. Okay, over here we have some chests. I don't think there's anything to do here. Okay, we got two more guards. Kitskete. So it's very dialect sounding. It just means take care or be careful. But to give it like a dialect vibe. In the Super NES, this is one of my favorite lines because back in the day in the 90s, this would have been a very fun quote to just like randomly shout at friends. Take care, ho! Alright, we'll say that's fine because we know what was intended. And then J2E, be careful. And naming way says, take care, lolly. That's one of the take care, ho. That's one of where you can get the unintended side effects of a translation. Okay, this other guard says, Babu iru no to ni wa osoroshiku okina hodai ga aru. Very, he's like speaking in a certain way. I don't know how to say it right now. He's saying, in the Tower of Babel, there is a terrifyingly big cannon, or cannons, it could be multiple. The way he says it is very interesting. Okay, Super NES. The Tower of Babel, so yeah, we need to talk about that probably soon. Babu Iru is the name in Japanese. And they spell that as Babel, BAB-IL in Super NES. And J2E is Babil, just BABIL, and it's BABIL in Naming Way. Different translations handle this differently. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. Probably the PS1 has a weird name for it. But from what I can tell, this isn't a direct word from the Bible or anything. Although that word does look like Bible. Babu Yidu. Okay, so there's a real big, terrifyingly big cannon in the Tower of Babel. Super NES. The Tower of Babel has a huge cannon called the Super Cannon. So they gave it a name here. There's no name given in the original Japanese. I'll let that I'll just let that be. It says there's super cannon, so there's only one, I guess. J2E. Oh, by the way, Hodai is like a cannon. Is that in here a battery or a fort? Like a gun battery? Like a cannon platform? J2E. There's a really nasty, powerful gun in the Tower of Babel. Oh, gun is not good. I wouldn't call it a gun. Just not gun by itself, because that makes you think it's like a handgun or a rifle. It should be like a cannon or something like that. I guess you could say gun, but I'm gonna mark that off there. Naming way. The Tower of Babel has a weapon called the Super Cannon. Darn it, at Super NES you caused the Super Cannon to happen. So everyone loses points on that. Hello, Spartanberry. Alright, we got some chests over here. Let's get these chests. A cottage, and a cottage. No one's gonna be sleeping outside now. Alright, here's a guard. Shite no mamono mo kyoteki. The underground monsters are also like powerful enemies. Kyoteki, there's a better word for that. Kyoteki. Formidable is what I would probably call that. Formidable enemy. So the underground monsters are formidable too. Yudan suruna. Don't let your guard down. Something like that. Super NES. Monsters here in the underground are strong. Be careful. That mo's in there. They took out that mo. Alright. J2E. The monsters in the underworld are strong. Don't let your guard down. I gotta say, it's kind of sad to see these unique speaking styles in Japanese, and they all just get lost in all these translations. Would have liked something more. Like, they still will keep the lally and the ho things, but it would just be like their speaking styles, you know? Okay. What did that used to be? The same naming way. Underworld monsters are strong. Be careful, lolly. So they added the lolly in there. That's fine. Yeah, yesterday is when J2E really started to plummet with all of its fanfic-esque additions. It lost a lot of points fast. Alright. Also, I had to make a new rule today where if you remove an NPC from the game, you lose 5 points. And that happened with Naming Way. Alright, this is the new location, Dwarf no Kichi. So this is like the dwarf base. J2E, Super NES Dwarf Base. J2E, Dwarves Military Base. Naming Way, Dwarven Base. Oh, this guy I thought was coming to attack me. He's so fast, coming right for me. Oh, he had pathfinding on. Alright, this dwarf says, Ore Yu Kan. So, remember how I was saying how these dwarves they seem to be split into two types. Some speak with like less grammar and just words. Straight up nouns and things like that. This one seems to be of that first one, where it's just like, me brave, ore yukan, demo antara motto yukan, but you guys are even more brave. You guys are more brave. Super NES, I'm brave, but you're braver. So antara, that da in there is the pluralizing suffix. So what if this makes it unclear if you just say you? in translation. If you want to say plural, and you need to actually like put in a little extra work, but it's fine. I'll say this is fine. J2E, I'm brave, but y'all are braver. And so they changed you all to y'all. That's fine. Naming way. I'm brave, but you're braver. It's the same in the Super NES there. Okay, where's this fast-running guy? Get over here. What do you say? Senshatai ga kyodai ho hikitsukeru. Okay, so I guess that's the word. Kyodai ho is probably giant cannon. Is probably the name for it. The tank battalion will distract the giant cannon. Sono suki ni senyu suru dari. Use that opening, use that chance to sneak in, Lali. Super NES. Our tanks will attract the attention of the cannon, so you can sneak in, Lali. Okay, so they had just said that it was they called it the super cannon at one point in the Super NES. They could just use the word super cannon again here, because it's literally right there. Kyodai ho. Giant, gigantic, enormous, they're huge. Alright, but we'll say this is all fine. J2E. Our tank force will divert the giant gun. Okay, so they're gonna call it the gun, the giant gun, instead of like giant cannon. It's fine. Does it show up on here? Gun, cannon, artillery, ordnance. Cannon is probably what is intended, but from an army's perspective, military's perspective, gun can mean cannon too. In this case, I'll say it's fine, especially since it's capitalized. J2E, our tank force will divert the giant gun. At that time, sneak in, Lolly. Okay, that's all fine. Naming way. Our tanks will draw their fire, so you can sneak in, Lolly. Alright, that's fine. There's a bunch of dwarves in this meeting room area. Babuiru ni wa gorubeza inakute mo saikyo no shiten no hi no rubicante ga iru. So even if Golbez is gone from Babel, the most powerful of the four fiends, Rubicante of Fire is there. That's how that goes. Super NES. I know Golbez is out of Babel, but the strongest of four fiends called Rubicant of Fire is there. That's good. Kind of like that. I'm gonna turn on some lights. J2E. Even if Golbeza isn't in the Tower of Babel, technically the word tower does not appear in there in the Japanese, but we'll say it's fine. The strongest of the four emperors, Rubicante of Fire, still is. Okay, that's fine. Alright, naming way. Golbez may have left the tower. Okay, so it's not saying Babel anymore, it's the same tower. I'll say that's fine. But Rubicante of Fire, strongest of the four fiends, is still there. Alright. Okay, another soldier. Uji ni kaete koi. So come back safely. That's what that means. Super NES, come back alive, Lolly. J2E, come back in one piece. Sometimes Poe and I will have a game, or anytime like a movie or a show says One Piece, we make like a One Piece joke or something. Come back in one piece. Gum Gum Bazooka. Right. Anyway, come back alive, Lolly. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we have to come back with a One Piece. Okay. This other guard says, Mucha sezu abunaku nattara hikikaese. So don't, like, be reckless if things get dangerous. Like, retreat or withdraw. Super NES. Do not overestimate your powers. Retreat whenever you have to. Oh, this feels, draft 2. Oh, I wish I could do this. You know how there's this icon here with J2E? I wish I could make it have for Super NES here. You see the old script. I need to work at Square Enix as the Ultra President and get access to all this stuff. I assume the One Piece is gonna be like a single like unified piece throughout the world, and also it's going to be the world is now united because all of the seas are together as one and they're one piece. That's my feeling. All right, J2E. If it gets too dangerous, don't press your luck. Flee. Ooh, press your luck. That's a good phrase for that. Mucha says ooh. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna give J2E a good point on that. Yeah. Okay. If it gets too dangerous, don't overdo it and flee. Is what it used to say. Press your luck is pretty good. Naming way. Do not overestimate your powers. Don't be afraid to retreat. So that's not really what's being said. It's saying like don't like, yeah, don't like mucha says it. Don't push yourself too hard. Don't be reckless. If things get dangerous, retreat. But it's all in there. It's all fine. Alright, now we're gonna go talk to this guy. This guy is gonna talk to us about pot. Koko no tsugo, inochi no tsugo, kono mizu nondeke. So this pot is the pot of life. Drink the water and go. Drink this water before you go. Kind of how it feels. Super NES. This is the pot of life, Lally. Want a sip? J2E. This want a sip? Oh, okay. I'll say it's fine. J2E. This is a pot of life. Take a swig. The editor didn't like the doubling of the word pot in there. Even though it's clearly weird in Japanese to begin with. Naming way. This is a pot of life, Lally. Want a sip? I'll say it's fine. So does this one heal HP and MP? Yep, HP MP が回復した。Alright, HP and MP recovered. I think we already looked at all that before. Alright. Let me go out back here and save it. And then we're doing pretty good on time. But we have to do the developer room now, so we might not even finish the developer room. Before we step into the developer room, I'm going to take my quick break and then come back, and then we got some stuff to look at. Let me see if I think there was something else I wanted to show here. Let me see. Not yet. We'll have something in a second. Well, I'll just do it here. Let me get this going. Alright, I'll be back in a second. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. I just now had the thought. Earlier today, if you weren't here for the stream, we found out that Naming Way had removed an NPC from Dwarf Castle. And so I instituted a new rule. If you delete an NPC, you lose 5 points. But now we're going to go into the developer room, which was entirely missing from FF2 Super NES. So I guess that rule should apply to there as well. So the Super NES is about to get wrecked. But it's also why the J2E version and Naming Way versions is kind of why they exist, because they wanted to preserve this weird whole section of the game that got removed. So if I don't count those removed lines, then it doesn't become like I feel like I'd be missing something. Yeah, so we're about to lose a lot of points on Super NES. Alright, so we already did this. If you weren't here before, we did this part already. And here we go. We're gonna go into the secret room. Ta-da! Alright, we are now in the Kaihatsushitsu, the development room. Does this exist? Oh, did they take this out of Easy Type? Crap. I guess that makes sense. While we're here, I want to show off this. One of the Japanese magazines that I've been showing off Japanese magazines at the start of every stream. I found one that reveals this whole development place. So here we go. We can look at it here. It's a full page. It was like it might be like a 4-page thing of like tricks and hidden things shortly after the game's release. But it's like full coverage of like this whole room, how to get there, what you can, like the kind of people you'll meet. They talk a little bit about the director Sakaguchi and how he's a chocobo. And apparently there's one enemy in here that's really hard, and they have yet to beat it. So I don't even know if it's possible. So anyway, this is how this was like. If you lived in Japan at the time, this is probably how you might have heard about it ahead of time, if you didn't already just find it on your own. I don't think there's a whole lot for me to show on this article specifically. Just we're gonna have Super NES is gonna have a tough time in here. Alright. Okay, we're in the development room. We're gonna talk to this guy. The Shinjin Tanaka Shinichi. So this is like the newcomer. Shinichi Tanaka is how we would translate that probably. The name flip around. Although I think technically the Japanese government instituted a thing where they prefer names to be left in the Japanese order from now on in translations. I don't know if that even has any weight. Okay. So the newcomer, Tanaka Shinichi, says, Sugi no sakuhin kara wa programu o kumunda. Oh man, this is going to be a lot of work translating all this. Alright. So I'll be doing programming starting from the next game. Minasan yoroshiku. So I guess he's new. So he's like he's saying good to work with you, good to meet you everyone. I'll be working on programming starting with the next one. Then he says hayaku jibun no tsukue ga hoshii na. I can't wait to get my own desk soon. Alright. Where is this? Shinichi Tanaka, okay. This becomes in J2E newbie. Well, first, this NPC was removed from Super NES, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. J2E newbie Shinichi Tanaka. Starting with our next release, I'll be on the programming team. Pleased to meet you all. I want my own desk soon. Alright. Proposal. Okay, so Naming Way is going to be pulling from possibly the DS version, which will have a different staff. I think that, or the NPC, all the NPCs are messed up. I think Naming Way might have messed up NPCs on here. Alright, I'll just read what it says because it's not the same name at all. It's originally it's Shinichi Tanaka, but this is H Nakada graphics. Oh, Naming Way says I'll be the only. So they say I'll be the only female on the team once my graphics partner leaves. I hope I don't gag on all this testosterone. The thing is, I think there is someone named that here. Let me find that person. Where are you? Oh, there's enemies in here too. We have to watch out for the enemies. Oh yeah, I think it's down in here. Yeah, okay, here's right here. Yeah, here we go. Oh, Naming Way, you've messed up your NPCs. And who's assigned to which NPCs? Oh no, I don't know how to score this. 1, 2. Alright. Alright. I'm not even gonna look at that one yet. This is gonna be a mess. I might have to do 2 for every time Naming Way messes up. Alright. We're talking to another soldier. Oh, let me close the door. Okay. So we're talking to a new recruit. Endo Toshio. Shinjin Endo Toshio. Oh no. Okay. So Super NES minus 5 points for not having it. 2, 3. Alright. J2E. Toshio Endo. My shoulders stiff. My eyes hurt. Oh wait, let me read it in Japanese. Kata ga kota yo. Me ga itai yo. Mimi ga itai yo. So my shoulders are stiff. My eyes hurt. My ears hurt. Alright, so that's all in J2E. My shoulders stiff. My eyes hurt. My ears hurt. Oops. Alright, and then Naming Way gets it off. Oh, 2 off there. Okay, we'll talk to this frog. Alright, this is another newcomer. Koizumi Kyoji. It's interesting spelling. Kyoji Koizumi. Huh. Golden Week nante hajime kara nakata to omoeba kirakusa. That means, when you just imagine not having Golden Week from the very start, it's pretty easy. So desu yo ne, Sakaguchi-san. Isn't that right, Mr. Sakaguchi? So I guess they might have worked over Golden Week, which is like a series of holidays in Japan, national holidays, all that kind of like within the 1 week period, so people will just take off the whole week, and that's called the Golden Week in Japan. So he's saying, it sounds like they might have had to work over Golden Week. You think this is a Wonder Bar problem? It very well could be. I'll restore the points. 1, 2. I might have to, like manually reconnect all of these Naming Way lines to the proper NPCs. But we've been seeing some NPC problems in this area to begin with. Alright. So for now, I'm going to say Naming Way is safe from these problems. We're only going to look at J2E, I guess. And then if I can fix the problems tomorrow, then I'll do that. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. So this is J2E. If you know from the beginning you don't get a Golden Week, making games isn't so bad. Okay. Don't you think so, Sakaguchi-san? Alright. Looks like there used to be yet another in the original text there. I don't know what that's about. Another Shinjin, another newbie, another newcomer, Dobashi Ikuya, says, Onegai da, minogashite kure, please overlook me, or like, just let me go. Ore wa nani mo nusunjai nai, I haven't stolen anything. Minogashite, like, please overlook this, I haven't stolen anything. Okay, that becomes in J2E. Newbie, Ikuya, Dobashi. Please let me out of here. I haven't stolen anything. Alright, let's see, that's fine. And then here is Sakaguchi, I believe. The director. Director Sakaguchi Hironobu. And he says, Shioka, ... And Shioka is one of those really weird words that, like, it's hard to understand what is being implied. So let me bring that up. I have to write about this one. Or I have to... Not this one. We have to go to here. Okay. Alright. Secret development. So we're looking at my site right now. And there's a line. Okay. So I'm just going to read what I've written about this line. There's also a curious line in the developer's room that has troubled everyone everywhere. Hironobu Sakaguchi, the game's director, appears in the developer's room as an odd-colored chocobo. In Japanese, he says, Shioka. This is a mysterious phrase with an unclear meaning. Even Japanese fans aren't sure what it indicates. It could mean many different things, or maybe even nothing at all. Here are some of the prevailing Japanese theories about the line. Okay, the first theory, he's responding to another staff member's mention of skipping a major week-long holiday to keep the game on schedule, in which case his line could be taken as, maybe we should do that. Okay, next theory is, it's unverified, but there's a claim that Sakaguchi said this phrase all the time in a sense of, let's go with that then, during the game's development, to the point of it being one of his characteristic phrases around the office. Another theory is, it's possibly a line said out of exhaustion, as if he's saying with a sigh of resignation, let's do this, I guess. In this theory, he's so incredibly tired, but knows that unless he keeps working, the work will never end. Another theory is he's reluctantly agreeing to be assigned a chocobo sprite. Another theory is it's a phrase that means, oh, these specs. And then another theory is maybe he's uttering nonsense after burning himself out. So, although some of the theories can be lumped together as generally meaning let's do something, it's unclear what that something is or who he's saying it to. This is yet another mystery among Japanese fans. As such, there are lots of theories about the line's specific meaning, but if native Japanese-speaking fans can't pin down what it's saying, then translators who don't speak the language natively have much less of a chance of figuring it out. With huge scripts and tight deadlines, lines like this can be a translator's nightmare. You can't just skip what you can't figure out, but you gotta write something. But what and why? And this kind of situation happens more often than you think in the entertainment translation industry. Sometimes you might have the benefit of being able to ask the creator or someone else in charge, but it usually boils down to doing all the research you can and then making your best educated guess, or trying to work around the problem as unobtrusively as possible. Alright, well, let's just see how else it was translated. So PS1, they didn't know how to handle it, so they went with que. And they probably was like, no one knows what he was saying to begin with, so let's just put que in there. That's probably what it was. And the GBA translator retranslated most of the text in the secret area, but left this line untouched. So it still says que in GBA. And they probably couldn't figure it out and just kept what was there before. PSP probably took the same approach because he says que. And then J2E, he says welcome. So what should the line be? Nobody really knows, but my first instinct when I saw it was that it has the he's responding to a staff member's suggestion by saying that they should do it, meaning. But maybe that's because I read the line about skipping the week-long holiday first. Alright, so that's the deal with this single line. Like when you don't know what to do, but you have to translate it, what do you do? That's a problem that happens in translation. You have to put something. I think he's just saying, let's go with that, let's do that. But what's being referenced is unclear. So there are some... We're doing a vague sure, maybe? That could work. Alright, so here's one of those fights. This is sometimes when you can get into fights in this area, and the enemies are named after staff members. So we're currently fighting a bomb, and whose name is Higuchi Katsuhisa, or Katsuhisa Higuchi. And they were dummied out. What's up, Paul? If you want. If not, we can get something somewhere. Okay. It's interesting to see that this guy drops the dirty book, the naughty book. If you can fight him, like, I don't think you can actually steal it or anything, but I think it's here, just in the data. He probably doesn't drop anything. Alright. So it was dummied out in Super NES for obvious reasons, but his data is still there, a little bit. In J2E, he becomes Kei Higuchi, because they couldn't fit the full name in there, the Katsuhisa. It looks like they call the porno mag, they call it the Playboy in the modern patch. Alright. Playboy, and then like trademark symbol they should add. Then Kei Higuchi and naming way. So here it lines up, the battle lines up. So they say things in battle or something. Eventually. Okay, I attacked, and now this programmer is saying, "Batoru programmer o naguru toa," to think you would hit the battle programmer. I can't believe you would hit the battle programmer. In the Super NES, that's just exclamation mark, which is kind of interesting. I'm surprised there's anything in there. That's kind of a surprise. Let's go with J2E. You would dare attack the battle programmer? You have to say hitting the bat programmer in the naming way. You hit me. Naming way can't mention the battle programmer. He needs the proper credits. Then he shouts, "Kono yaro, jibaku shite yaru." You jerk, I'm gonna self-destruct on you. And then in Super NES, that is again exclamation. J2E, you jerks, I'll take you down with me. And the jibaku is literally the technique name. Self-destruct. Would have liked that little in there. Naming way, it says why. Then he does jibaku, which is explode or self-destruct. Alright, we got 50 gil. I guess that he doesn't get paid very much. But yeah, we did get the dirty book from here. That's neat. Alright, this is the Echi Nahon. Echi is the English word H, is how they pronounce it, Echi. And that letter H is short for hentai. And hentai in Japanese actually means like a person who's perverted. And in English, it's sort of become like dirty manga is kind of what it feels, but it's more just like a pervert, ecchi, or perversion, ecchi nahon. So this is like a perverted book, perversion book, ecchi, indecent, lewd, frisky, sexy. Weird. Alright. This says the easy type it's got dummied out, this book. However, the description was also changed to say Ken-chan no aidokusho. So Ken-chan loves to read this. So specifically one person here loves to read this. And why would they hide this data in the easy type ROM? I have no idea. Usually it just says I love to read it, or aidokusho, like favorite book. It's like Ken-chan's favorite book in the easy type version. What the heck is that about? J2E. Or the Super NES is dummied out. Okay, 1, 2. J2E, Playboy. Playboy magazine. Hey, my favorite magazine. So Playboy is a real life reference. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Used to say porno mag, favorite book. Naming way seems to pull from the DS translation, which goes with magazine, and this is lustful lally ho. We'll say that's fine. Alright, if we use it, this is what happens. Oh, Radia shouldn't be looking at this. She looks around, and then the screen turns purple, and music plays. And then Cecil says, Doki Doki shite-kita. I don't know, my heart is starting to beat hard, or like I'm getting excited. And then Super NES that's dummied out. J2E, whoa, I'll go blind. And that's a reference to some weird Western culture stuff. That's not what's being said. Took off 2 points. And the naming way, someone who's unstated just says, woo, woo. That's not what's being said. It's Cecil saying that specific thing, so I took off a point there. Alright, the item is now gone. I already talked to the frog. Yeah. Alright, we'll talk to... Now we're in the special room here. I want to go to the end of this room. There's someone down here. Right? Nope. Right. Here's another room. Menu programmer. Menu programu Adachi Keitaro. So Keitaro Adachi says, hehe, rakusho, rakusho. And it means hehe, piece of cake, piece of cake. I've had to work on the menu programming. It's kind of a hassle, guy. I'm sorry. J2E. Menu programmer Keitaro Adachi. Hehe, no sweat, no sweat. That's fine. Used to say main programmer. Wow, they were wrong on that. I'm glad they fixed that to menu programmer. And they spelled his name wrong at one point too. Alright. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like untangle these naming way ones, and then on a different stream we'll come back and we'll look at the naming way ones and then do the checks there. Okay, this is the map designer, Mapu Design Matsumura Yasushi. So Yasushi Matsumura. Oh wait, I haven't been marking off on... I haven't been marking off, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was at least one more that I didn't do, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might need to do more on the Super NES for missing those NPCs entirely here. Alright. So map design Yasushi Matsumura. Erucho Naito-chan, Naoshi, Hoshiya-san, Kuwahara Kacho, Hisashiburi, Doshita no, Are? Hitochigai da, yeah! Alright, he's listing a bunch of names. So Erucho Naito-chan, Naoshi Hoshiya-san, Kuwahara Kacho. It sounds like someone who works there. Kacho is, if you know, like a section manager, section chief, if you know Game Center CX. So there's 3 people being mentioned at least, and they're saying, long time no see. Let's see how this goes. What's the matter, huh? You're not them. Yeah. Got the wrong people? So J2E. Map design Yasushi Matsumura. Eru. I guess Cho is dropped from there. Eru. Naito. Naoshi. Hoshiya. Kuwahara. Long time no see. What's wrong? I've got the wrong people. Whoops. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on here myself. So Eru Cho, they took out that Cho. I think that's part of a nickname, that Cho. Naito-chan, that took out the Chan on J2E. Hoshiya-san, they took out the San. And they took out the section chief for some reason. So all that All that kind of stuff that was in there, the identifying stuff, was taken out. Be more nice. Took off a point to J2E. Be nicer. I don't know who those people are. Are those idols? Are those people who work here? I should probably look at that later. Okay, this one is not, this one's a little different. This one says, Oira wa Dotoya no Takada. I am the dot master Oira. Or wait, I am Taka, the daughter, the dot maker. And they use Oira, which is that Japanese pronoun. J2E, I'm Taka, the dot maker. Okay, that's fine. Densetsu no Super Doto Yaro o mezashiteiru. I'm aiming to become the legendary super dot dude. That's how that goes. Tabun kono game ga owaru koro ni wa super doto yaro ni natteiru daro. By the time this game is finished, I'll probably be the super dot dude by then. Alright, so the J2E. As soon as I'm finished with this game, I'll probably become a super dot man. I kind of combined multiple phrases in there. That first line was missing, I would like to be in there. Like, he's aiming to be that, the legendary super dot dude. And then they'll finally be that by the time the game is done. As I finish with this game versus by the time this game is done, there's two different things there. Alright. Little person. Graphic person. Okay, this must be Hoshi. This must be the Hoshi person they were talking about. Graphics. Hoshino Masanori. So Masanori Hoshino is this person's name. Minna ga tatakatteiru mamono wa boku ga kaitan da yo. So the monsters that everyone's fighting, I drew them. Kini itta mamono ga attara oshiete ne. Tell me if there's any favorite ones of any favorite monsters you have. Alright, J2E, Masanori Hoshino. I drew all the monsters you're fighting. If there's one you particularly like, please let me know which one. I'll say that's fine. Okay, another graphic person, Nakada Hiromi. Hiromi Nakada, and this is probably a woman. Toita wakide nokosareta watashi wa FF チーム tada hitori no josei ni natte shimaimashita. And so I became the final remaining woman on the FF team. Like, kind of a negative way, like I ended up this way. I ended up as the final woman. It's like the one and only woman on the team. Okay, J2E, Hiromi Nakada. So basically, I'm left as the only woman on the Final Fantasy team. You can count on me. That was not in the original, so I took off on J2E there. Looks like they had her name wrong to begin with. As Takada originally. Right. Next. Oh wait, I'm wrong. Let me bring that back. Hagemashi no otayori kudasai ne. So please send me letters of encouragement. Oh wait, so that was a mistake. So that she wants letters cheering her up. Okay, another female looking character is a doll maybe or something. Okay, another graphic person. Tanaka Ryoko. So Ryoko Tanaka. Watashi no saigo no sakuhin to narimashita. Yoroshiku ne. This will be my final work. Please treat me well or something like that. J2E. Ryoko Tanaka. Okay. This will be my final production. I hope you like it. Production is a weird one for that. Sakuhin, I guess that works. Production. Alright. Okay, we're fighting the bomb guy again. I'm getting out of here. It's not gonna let me run, is it? Oh, it will. Then I dropped a Gil though. I guess that's how he's gonna get paid. It's a tip. I consider that his tip. We're going into a secret, more important room now. With a bunch of harps are in here, and a little boy running around like crazy. Okay, let's talk to this guy at the desk. Sound effecto Ito Kenji. So Kenji Ito, the sound effect guy. FF Kriya Stara Seiken Densetsu mo yoroshiku ne. So once you've finished FF, check out Seiken Densetsu also, which is the Final Fantasy Adventure. So once you've finished FF, check out Seiken Densetsu also. Maybe just the series, not specifically a game, but at the time, FF only went up to the Game Boy one, right? I don't think Secret of Mana was out yet. Oh, I keep forgetting. Super NES 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, J2E. Sound effects, Kenshi Ito. Oh, his name is Kenji. You messed up, J2E. And there probably should be a longer O there. Okay. Once you beat Final Fantasy IV, try Seiken Densetsu 3. That game wasn't out yet. They didn't have 2 yet. Alright. 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright. Energetic Kid is the sound effect guy also. Soundo Effecto Ueda Akira. So Akira Ueda, the sound effect guy. Aki, Yama-san, Takemochi, Shin-kun, Kazu-kun, Hoka no minasan, mina mitteru kana? So Aki, Yama-san, Takemochi, Shin-kun, Kazu-kun, and everyone else. Are you guys all watching? Oto ikutsuka tsukutta n da. Mata kite ne. I made a bunch of sounds. Come again, okay? I made a number of sounds. Visit again, okay? Alright, J2E sound effects, Akira Ueda. I feel Aki and Yama-san are separate names probably. Takemochi is probably a nickname, it feels like. So we don't need that. And Shin-kun is probably separate, and Kazu-kun, so there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names here, I feel. And J2E has combined a couple of them. It could be true, I don't know. This could be Akiyama-san, so Akira... Yama something? Akiyama-san, Takemochi, Shin-kun, Kazu-kun. Everyone else, are you watching? I've made lots of sounds, listen to them. I don't like that. Listen to them. Gas was in there. Honestly, I have no idea what to do with these names. Should be separate? This is where commas would have been nice. This could be like Akira Toriyama. I doubt that's the case though. Takemochi Shin. I don't know any of these names. This all means nothing to me. I'd have to do extra mega research and probably still wouldn't find everything. Alright. Here's talking to this naming way. He looks like a cake. He has a cake for a head. This is the music composer. Mujiku Kompozu Uematsu Nobuo. So Nobuo Uematsu, the music composer. Sonata yoku miru to nakanaka no ongaku teki shishitsu o himete oru. That means, upon closer look, you have a hidden qualities. You have quite good hidden musical qualities within you, it seems, or something like that. Washi ga nanban tourai no kurarinetto. So yeah, so I'm just gonna break the window. I don't know what. Oshiete shinzeyoka. Like a funny, weird, crazy way of saying, shall I teach you the clarinet, which was which came from far off, like an instrument that came from far off, imported to Japan by early European traders. Nanban Torai. He's being very unusual. Everything about him is very unusual here. J2E. Music composition Nobuo Uematsu. I'm looking at you. You seem to have quite a hidden appreciation for music. I won't say appreciation, but that's fine. Shall I play my clarinet for you? No, he wants to teach it to us. Or should I show it to you? I'm going to take off a point there. Alright, then this last guy here. Sound programmer. Sound programu. Akao Minoru. So Minoru Akao. Whew. ... Sate, nani shiyou kana? Yahari waku waku suru ni wa are ga ichiban kana? And so he goes, whew. Now what to do? Now what should I do? Maybe to become excited? That's the best choice? You know what is the best choice? To become excited? Oh god, don't there. Oh, I keep forgetting Super NES. Alright. I'll stop on Super NES there. Alright, let's see. J2E. Minoru Akao. Whew, well then, what should I do now? Oh, he's not saying the part about, like, this last line is missing. To become excited, you know what is the best way. Missing that line. Okay, I don't think there's anything to do in here. This room is hell. There's another battle in here somewhere. The harps don't do anything, I checked them. I could swear there was a second battle in here. Okay, here we go. I think this is a really hard guy. Alright. We're fighting a soldier whose name is Aoki Kazuhiko. So Kazuhiko Aoki. And he is shouting in battle, Ori no tokui na violin kikitai. Do you want to hear me to play the violin? I'm real good at it. We'll just say that this tokui, like being really good at something, is it even in here? Well, anyway, we'll just say that it's in there. And want to hear my violin? It says it naming way. Oh, I wasn't taking off points for this. 1, 2. For Super NES. And then a voice says, Kikitakunai, ... And that means don't want to hear it. Super NES, exclamation, J2E, you don't? And naming way is not really? That could be anyone saying that. And then the soldier then says, ah, so, I see. Well, okay. Something like that. Super NES loses a point. J2E, well, alright. And naming way says, fine. Oh, he's dejected though. He's feeling dejected. And then the battle ends. Another battle. This one is with Ito Hiroyuki. So Hiroyuki Ito. It is a weird marionette puppet looking person. Nande okosunja. Itoko jatta no ni. Why are you waking me up? I was just at a good part. And he's probably talking about a dream. I was just having a good part of my dream, so Super NES loses a point. J2E, why did you wake me up? And naming way, why'd you wake me up? So the part of Itoko jatta no ni, it's kind of like an older person maybe saying, I was just having a good part of my dream. Then this person says, Suzuki o miru to suruka. I guess I'll see, I'll dream the rest of it. I'll see the rest of the dream. So they're gonna go back to sleep and have the rest of the dream is the idea. Super NES lost a point. J2E, it was a great dream too. Okay, we'll say that was the second half of the first line. Naming way. I'm going back to sleep. I'll say it's full time. Then he does the sleep spell on himself. But nothing happens and the battle ends. Alright, now I need to go down in there. Come on. Get out of there. The director won't leave. Oh, get out of there. Okay. Oh, you Sakaguchi. There we go. Go for it. He knew what I was trying to do. So I'm going downstairs, and this is the Kamin Shitsu. Kamin is like a light nap. Kamin Shitsu. So this is like a nap room. And this became dummied out in Super Famicom and Super NES. This is translated as upper room in J2E for some reason. You know what? It's probably that Kami. Is Kami on here? Yeah, down here. The second to the bottom. Upper reaches, upper. Sometimes Kami can be read as Kami. So they probably thought that was what that was. It's a mistake on J2E. You messed up. And the naming way is break room. Break room is fine, but it's more like it is like a nap room. Yeah, where's the upper room? It's downstairs. Yeah, for that kind of nonsense, I'm gonna mark off extra. Alright, there's a bookcase. Okay, that was a rare, mostly unused sound that we never saw in the FF2 US, but it was here in FF4 all along. We checked the bookcase and got another dirty book. And we already looked at this line. Well, actually, we didn't get this part. Playboy. Used to say penthouse. You found a penthouse, but then they changed that to Playboy. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was gonna say this was all separate, but attained the magazine in naming way. 1, and then 1, and Super NES for not having it. Okay, there's a poster on this wall. Appumade Geimu Kinshi. So, no games allowed until like whatever up means. Uppu means in my head, it feels like when the game is like ready to go, ready to ship or uploaded. No playing games until the work is done is basically the feeling I get. It's probably like like lingo inside the industry at the time. Super NES doesn't have a line here. J2E, up until here, no games allowed. I don't think up until here is what is being intended. Doesn't even make sense up until here. I'm gonna mark that off. Alright, you can see there's like, this whole place is bugged down here. It's kind of fun. Alright, there's a wizard in bed. Okay, this person is saying, Rosa ni Rydia tenoka. So Rosa and Rydia, huh? Nakanaka iona janeka. There's some pretty hot girls. Word got chikara ni naru ze. I'm gonna help you out. So I guess he's dreaming maybe, or I don't know. You guys are pretty hot. I'll help you out. See, okay, Super NES mixes that. 2, 3. J2E. Rosa and Rydia are pretty damn hot. You'll find my power useful. Okay, that first line is missing. Yeah, the first line was removed. So I used to say, Rosa and Rydia, huh? You're pretty hot girls, aren't you? I'll be able to help you. That's how that used to be. In naming way, looks like this line is standard and it's working correctly. Rosa and Rydia, eh? You girls are cute. Let me be of service. Okay, we'll say that's fine. Cute might be a little weird, but that's fine. Then it's pretending that he's joining the team. Game shokunin Tokita Takashi ga nakama ni natta. So the game craftsman Takashi Tokita has joined the party. So that line is missing in Super NES. J2E. Game engineer Tokita Takashi joined the party. No, it's not. Engineer isn't in there. It's just game shokunin. Where's shokunin? Shokunin. It's like a worker, mechanic, artisan, and craftsman. I think artisan and craftsman is probably the best. Game craftsman, not engineer, but we'll say that's fine. Naming way. Game engineer T. Tokita has joined the party. Alright. Yeah, I'm thinking Apu was probably when you got the ROMs ready to be uploaded. Or basically like until the ROMs are ready, the final ROM. So no playing games until the final ROM is ready. That's the feeling I've been getting, but I don't know the lingo. Alright. This person in bed is still continuing. Tanomu, ... Suretete kure, please, take me with you. Koko wa mou yada. I hate it here now. I can't stand it here. Okay, 2 lines missing in Super NES. J2E, please, take me with you. I can't stand it here anymore. Okay, that's good. Naming way. Please take me with you. I don't like it here. Okay. We're not taking you with us. You're not gonna trick us like Bygone did. Alright, there's one person in bed sleeping with a zzz bubble. Alright. Here's the main programmer. I remember the main programmer's name because I kept seeing that in the credits. And then it's in FF6 at the end intro credits. Main programmer Narita Ken. So main programmer Ken Narita. Mo ibento wa suika shinai de kure. Mo ibento wa suika shinai de kure. Please don't add any more events. Please stop adding events. Like, please stop adding cutscenes, basically. Please stop adding stuff. Alright, so that line is missing in Super NES. J2E. Chief Programmer Ken Narita. Don't put in any more events. And I can't tell what's on Naming Way because Naming Way is having its troubles. Oh, now that I think about it, if these are all Bank 2, yeah, if these are Bank 2 lines, then it makes sense that everything is messed up if Naming Way missed one of these entries. Alright. Which means that maybe this guy is entry 1, the first default entry, and it worked right for him because he was the first. Alright. Next line. Mo bagu wa mitsukenai de kure. Please stop finding bugs. Okay, that's missing in Super NES. J2E, stop finding more bugs. And I don't know what it is in Naming Way. Then he continues, Chikusho daigaku yamete yaru. He means like, crap, I'm gonna quit college and see how you like that. Daigaku yamete yaru. Like, it's like a threat. Like, I'm just gonna drop out of college if you make me do this stuff. So damn, I might have to drop out of college, it says in J2E. That's not... It's like a threat. Yamete yaru. Alright. I don't know if there's any more fights in here. I'll look up Apu. I'm pretty sure that's just like when the final product is ready for delivery in ROM chip tech. At least back in the day. so confused why all of these are a little off. Like, after this, I'm gonna check it out in naming way and see if all of these lines are proper. Hopefully, it wasn't my mistake. Okay, so I think that's all in here. There might be one more, right? I thought there was one more battle. Let me bring it up. Maybe that Japanese magazine will show us. Where is it? I have to look on this bigger, so let's see. Alright, okay, the knight guy, the bomb, the mage. Oh, we didn't get the ogre guy. And we didn't get the doll guy, or the Lamia. Yeah, we've got a couple more enemies. Let's just walk around and find them. This Japanese magazine from 700 years ago is proving useful today for a bunch of weird foreigners across the world. So how many points would a translation lose if the fan translator inserted themselves as a character in the developer room? Probably just the 5 points. Alright, ooh, we got someone. Alright, we have Matsui Akihiko. Akihiko Matsui. And it's a little person that is floating. And they are going to do Libra on us. Uncane. Weak to fire. Alright, and then it says Ore no statasu o minayo. So look at my stats. Sometimes you'll get status like this, and that kind of more in RPG terms, it's more like stats. Check out my stats is what he's saying. Here it shows its status. Super NES, mark off a point because it's not in there. I think J2E made a mistake here. It looks like it's saying Miru Nayo, which would mean don't look at my stats. So they all went with status. But Mina, me, and Na in some dialects and some speaking styles is just standard. Minayo. And yeah, why would he say don't look at my stats if he does it immediately on himself? So Super J2E. Okay, so this character has 1 out of 1 HP. Weak to fire. Weak to cold. Weak to ice. Weak to thunder. Weak to holy power. Weak to projectiles. Weak to all-nighters. And mark that off in Super NES. So in J2E, weak against all-nighters. So like when you work all night, that's what he's weak to. Weak versus late nights, it used to say. And naming way also says weak against all-nighters. Megane no onna no ko ni owai. So weak to girls with glasses. Took off on Super NES. J2E, weak against girls with glasses. Naming way, ... girls with specs, ... Okay, we'll say that's fine. And then Sappari owai, just basically what weak. Sappari, how does that come across? Like, just all entirely weak. So Super NES I marked off because there's nothing. J2E, just plain weak. In naming way, ... pathetic. The joke is that he keeps saying you're weak to this, you're weak to this, you're weak to this. That's the joke. And then I think the battle will end in a second. Oh, then the guy says Konna hazuja. It's not supposed to be this way. It shouldn't be this way. Super NES misses that line. J2E, this can't be. That's probably fine. Let it be so is what it used to say. That's not, well, okay, I'm glad they fixed it. Naming way? No way. No, he's like kind of sad and distraught by all of his weaknesses now that he's checked himself. But I'll say that's fine. And then he continues, Konna boku o naguru nante. Hitting someone like me? Okay, Super NES is not in there. How could you see my status? They used to say, how did you hit me? They're all wrong. Okay, that's wrong both ways. Naming way, don't hurt me. I'll give that back to naming way there. Then the guy says, Uwa, yurushite. That means, wa, forgive me, something like that. Super NES loses a point. J2E says, leave me alone. I would have liked to say, wa, forgive me. Yeah, okay, took off that point. Naming way, it says goodbye. It's retreating. We have a couple more of these enemies to find. I hope they're not in like specific rooms though. Alright, it's this bomb guy again. Alright, so my plan right now is we'll finish out this developer room stuff and I'll go out and save it. And then we'll pick up, not tomorrow, but the next day, on Thursday. I want to find these guys first. Man. This developer room was really confusing for my Super NES scoring. Hopefully I didn't like go too far overboard on it. I feel like, if anything, I didn't do it enough. For all the characters that are in here, they would have, all NPCs were deleted, so they all get 5 off. Oh, Lamia, yes, okay. We're fighting a Lamia girl, a snake girl, named Nakada Hiromi. I think we saw her. Yeah, we saw her. All these are kind of like NPCs that we were just talking to. She was one of the graphics, right? Okay. Suddenly Fabul music starts playing. And then the screen darkens. And the Lamia lady, Nakada Hiromi Nakada, says, Sa, dare kara iku no? Feminine style of saying, okay, who goes first? Who will be first? Super NES, I'm going to mark that off. J2E. Who sent you here? That's not right. And then it used to say, who sent you anyway? That's not right either. And naming way says, who's first? Okay, good. Alright. Then a voice comes from off screen and is listed as manager. Manager. Hiromi-san, goshime desu. And that means like, Miss Hiromi, your name is being called. Like, you're being called by name by someone. Probably, this feels like it could be, contextually, it could be in a couple different ways. Like maybe just someone is asking for you. But it could also be like at a hostess club, like you can ask for someone specifically. So maybe that's what this is, and she's like, was going to treat us to her hostess arts, starting with someone. Okay, so in the Super NES, that line is just gone. J2E. Manager says, Hiromi, you're being requested. Okay, that's good. They used to say, Hiromi, do something, but that was wrong. In naming way, the manager says, Hiromi, come. Oshime. I guess you could say that maybe she has stuff to do. No, it's the goshime desu. Goshime desu. Okay. Well, whatever the case, let's continue. Oh, she died. We have 100 experience. Alright, you can just level up on her a lot. Oh, we have a maiden's kiss. Oh. I'm gonna do the trick. I don't remember how to do it though. Okay, stick that here. Did that work? Probably not. forget how to do that trick. Oh well. Okay, I want to find the ogre-looking guy. Not this guy. Trying to find the ogre man. I was considering not even like scoring anything in this room, but as a big part of the game, it feels like it would be weird to not do that. No, let me escape. You have to listen to all of his stuff. Okay, this is the guy who has 1 out of 1 HP and he's weak to girls with glasses. We don't have any of those though. It seems that this room was indeed taken out of easy type. At least the text seems to not be in there. I think a bunch of the battle text is in there still just because, but I think like if we talk to him, this just gets dummied out to T. So Super NES is not necessarily based on easy type. That's sort of the weird prevailing rumors that have been going around for a long time. They seem to have been worked simultaneously, probably in the same office, just at some point they diverge. Okay, we're fighting the ogre guy. This is Yoshi Kiyoshi. So Kiyoshi Yoshi. And a lot of HP in there. It got dummied out, and it got dummied out in Super Famicom Easy Type and Super NES. K Yoshi and J2E and K Yoshi and Naminway. Alright, let's continue. Alright, so this ogre then says, Kondo, Papa ni narunda, Han. Like kind of, this Han sound is kind of like a feminine quality to it, like a really cute, sexy girl might say that to sound attractive. So I'm gonna be a daddy, and then does the like feminine sigh thing. Actually, let me bring it up if I can show it to you. Where is it on here? Yeah, I'll show it to you. Okay, so this text, the whole page is about this whole development room. And it's saying here, Han, stop saying that, don't say Han. It's like strangely disturbing to hear that from this big ogre guy. Alright. That becomes, Super NES, I'll mark that off. I'm gonna be a daddy. And then like this weird sigh or whatever is missing in the J2E. He used to say, he's turning into my dad. Ooh, that was a bad mistake back in the day. And then Naminway says, I'm gonna be a daddy. Kind of reminds me of in Earthbound when Nico got named. If it helps, I don't think release dates, when they're so close, matter much. The ROMs were probably being like manufactured at the same time. So people were like arguing, like Easy Type was released in October 29 and US wasn't until November 23rd. But then you have to think about maybe like shipping costs and shipping times. And probably just marketing decisions. All right. So the ogre now says Idaro, and that means isn't. It could mean a couple things. It could mean like very well, or like isn't that good? Super NES is missing that. J2E says isn't that great, and Naminway says isn't it great? Used to say oh well. I think that was a mistake. Then he says Jana Han. I can't do the Han sound. I'm not really good at it. I don't have a feminine enough voice. He's saying see ya, and then he does his feminine sigh thing again. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if we knew the guy, this would make more sense. Alright, so Super NES. See you later, says J2E. You used to say see you later. And the naming way says bye bye. Alright, that's fine. Alright, this whole section is just draining my brain because none of it is making any sense to me. Alright, I think that's probably good for here. I don't think there was much more. Let me look at my items. Is everything good in here? This is always annoying. I'm going to toss this down here. I don't really need this anymore. And I don't want this anymore. I'm going to throw away this dirty book. Wait, how much do they sell for? For $290 gil. What does that mean? If it was $290, then it was $580 originally, right? Goya. Okay, what is it here? No, I don't know. I'm just wondering if there's like a special meaning behind this amount. You can have the secret dirty books. So let's see, I'm gonna go head out here. I'm gonna go to the past the bird of sacred. Maybe I'll drop stuff off at the bird of sacred. Here we go. Alright, first let's drop things in here. What do we got? I don't care about that anymore. I don't care about that anymore. I don't care about that anymore. Kumo no Ito might be good. Skate doll might be okay. We haven't used some of these in battle, so I kind of am considering doing just using them sometime. See how they go. Oops. Okay. Nice and clean in here. Can I just open this myself now? Nope. Now we're gonna go to the pot of life. I don't even think I need it technically. Oh, Rydia has 1 HP, she got hit. She needs that pot of life badly. Okay. Oof, we've talked to a lot of people today, like we've still stayed in this castle for 2 days in a row. It's finally time to leave this castle. Let's see. Are there any more, like, towns in this game that are this text dense? I don't think so. This is like one of the last ones, right? The Eblana place is pretty small. Lunarian stuff is pretty small. Tamara is pretty small. Oh, maybe the Land of Summoned Monsters might be kind of... That might be kind of busy. Because after this, the story's really going to start picking up. Alright, we're currently 55 hours in. Alright, let's see. If you're curious, after that development room disaster, Super NES took a heavy beating, as you would expect, because they just deleted the whole place. Super NES is now at -727. J2E is at -675. And Naming Way is at -692. The thing is, these scores are getting kind of weird now. because it was hard to keep up with that development room. So I don't know, maybe Super NES should be even lower, I think, possibly, I'm not sure. And even I was having some troubles in that development room because I don't know who is who, I don't know where names break. It's just kind of tough. I guess if I like sat down and looked at the credits list, I could like piece it together, who was being referenced. But I don't know if that's worth that. Okay, so that's the score. What we're gonna do is on Thursday, it's currently Tuesday, I'm gonna take Wednesday off. On Thursday, we will go to the tower finally. We'll do the tower dungeon. And then we'll, let's see, what happens? We end up coming back down. Golbez does his thing. Sid saves us, right? I don't remember if people have new text after that and after we do the tower battle. If they have new text in the Dwarf Castle, then we're going to be stopping there. But we might make it back above ground. That'll be cool if we do. That's what I'll shoot for. So thanks for coming by, everyone. Hopefully the mystery of Easy Type versus Super NES will be more revealed as we continue. For now, please enjoy anything from 91 that you can find. Any food that reminds you of 91, any songs or movies, check it out. See you in 2 days. Bye bye.